Welcome back to the Kokomo Press Podcast. I'm Jordan Granger, and this week we have a very special guest for you. Her name is Annie Upchurch. She's a great friend of mine, great friend of Cortni's, and we're excited for her to come on and, tell a little bit about herself. She's a huge Taylor Swift fan, and so this week we got a little bit into the Matty Healy controversy, and we also got into the weird boycott of Target, and we even had a tiny little baby debate on gun rights. So if you're ready to get controversial, let's do it with Annie Upchurch on the Kokomo Press Podcast, baby. Woo!
Warning, this video contains adult content not suitable for children.
What's up? It's the Kokomo Press Podcast. I'm Jordan Granger, and today I have a very special co-host.
Brian West.
Are you Brian West this week?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Like Adam West.
It's Courtney. It's fucking Courtney.
No,
We
it's
all know
not.
It's Courtney.
Stop
And
it.
we have a very special guest today.
Still Courtney.
So, you're Courtney too?
Courtney too.
No,
It's
yeah.
kind of Courtney too.
Okay. This is Courtney.
This is Courtney.
Courtney
Yeah.
too.
We don't want to confuse the audience. This is actually Annie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So check
Annie.
out Annie. They got to know who she is,
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
gotta-
my bad.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What is this Mickey Mouse hour?
Yes.
Are we at Disneyland right now?
We're acting.
Oh, hello.
Acting. Yours. No, sorry.
If you call my son and you listen to his voicemail, it's him doing Mickey Mouse.
What?
I
Why?
swear to God,
What does it
I
say?
don't know. You have to understand. I've never been more frustrated in my life than when I'm trying to get a hold of my son legitimately for something, and it's like, oh, hello, pal, it's me, Mickey Mouse. Like, that's literally what it's like when I call my son. I know it seems like
That,
unreal.
I would ground my child.
I know, it's horrible.
I
That
would
would
ground
be
them.
great.
You love it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
It's spoken like somebody without.
Yeah, I don't have children, so it's like, oh, what? Your
You're
cousin?
like
imagine-
so angry trying
okay.
to find them or they're missing.
What's the best way to look at it? Imagine you're trying to call your doctor for something important, and every time you get voicemail, it's like, oh, hello, pal, or your significant other or anybody. It's the worst, dude. I hate it.
It's like, oh, you...
It was so funny the first time.
Remember ringback
Yeah.
tones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time my grandma's was it was some really sexual song. It was country. It was like
Is it honky tonk badonkadonk?
no, I can't. Oh my god, it was in my head and then now I can't remember.
Oh
Shit.
damn it! Your grandma had a sexual country song as her.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Must be doing something right.
I don't know that
It's
song.
the song. I
I
don't
don't
know.
listen to country, dude.
How's that?
What do I look like? What do I look like?
It was like, must be doing something right. I just heard her sigh, lean into her lips, and something about this need me eyes. And I'm like,
Grandma, please change that.
Please. So I'd call her and it would be singing that. I'm like, oh my God.
That's not what that... No.
So tell us how, because obviously we know Annie because she hangs out. We've been Friendsgiving. We know that.
Yeah.
Tell me your guys' connection.
She's fucking my cousin.
I was waiting for it. I'm banging her cousin.
So you're dating her cousin, right? Jessica?
Yes.
Jessica
Jessica
Shuck.
Shuck. She's dating my lesbian cousin.
Yeah.
Not the photographer. Because there's one named Jessica
No,
Shuck.
my Jessica
Oh, yeah,
Shuck,
there is
not
a
the other
photographer in
Jessica
there.
Shuck.
It's not.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you and Jessica end up meeting?
Tinder.
And that's cool. Okay. I thought maybe Grindr, but no, I'm just kidding. Getting the Grindr more
Grindr's
dudes.
for dudes.
Yeah. That's what I
Why is
figured.
there not a lesbian
Is there not
Grindr?
a-
There is.
What's it called?
Binder.
Her? No. I think it's called Her.
Binder.
Is it called her?
I think it's called Her.
Why is the guy's called Grinder?
I don't know.
Yeah, you know why.
Okay, all right.
You know why.
I want to grind it. I don't
My
know. that.
bad.
Grinder.
Grinder.
I'm innocent. I don't know what that means.
A grinder. It sounds like a what is it, like a meat White's meat market, like
Yeah.
the grinder in the back. To like what does gay
Oh,
guys love to
yeah,
do?
yeah.
Grinder. It sounds like
That sounds scary.
it's
now.
horror. It
Yeah.
sounds
Like
a
horror.
horror movie.
Yeah. I don't know why. I wonder
There
if
have
there's
been
a
a lot
reason.
of people that have died from Grinder.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. I just made that up.
It's like, oh my god, what's happening?
A lot of people have died
No,
from
but-
Grindr.
Well, they do it from like Tinder and like meeting up with people.
Oh yeah.
Well,
just assume.
no, that's just men on women.
I
We're
just-
the ones that kill.
Oh,
each
men,
other.
is
men on
true.
men
Men
don't kill each other.
No, men kill each other.
But it's like
more
Ted
than
Bundy.
men
If
kill
he,
women.
but I had
don't
like
think-
Grinder back then.
What?
If they had Grinder back when like Ted Bundy was alive, he'd be like killing all them dudes.
No,
I
he
don't know,
didn't
he-
kill dudes.
You didn't kill men though.
Ted Bundy.
He would
You're
probably
thinking
use-
Dahmer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dahmer.
Okay, yeah.
Ted Bundy
Or
killed
Gacy.
You're
them.
mixing up your
I'm sorry.
serial killers,
Get
all
him
right?
right.
Come
My
on,
bad.
man. Don't. You have to affirm his sexual identity. Don't
sorry.
fucking come through here and act like he's not.
Dahmer. I don't know. They all looked goofy.
Yeah. His name should be Dom him. Am I right? Why would he Dom her?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But he had Grindr back then. He wouldn't have had to go out to the bar.
Yeah, he would have, because he'd want to get some pictures of you. I guess he'd already have pictures of you.
Hey, no, it's like hookups.
Now I'm
He's like-
thinking
So they
of,
meet at
like-
the house.
I just want to get some pictures of
But
you.
you wouldn't.
He
the,
wouldn't
the
have to
bar
have the
thing
excuse.
was for people to already be drinking, though. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
And your decision making is a little different.
Also, people, if you're already drinking, nobody's going to question whether, oh, you want another drink? Oh, sure. But if you're like randomly like, here's a drink.
But I feel like he could have picked who he wanted, though. Be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Hey.
You think he needed a menu?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Let me get a menu instead of going
Yeah.
out and have to look.
I feel like Grindr is a menu for people.
How could I have
People
made
menu.
Dama's life easier?
That's what I'm trying to do. It's just more convenient.
She just wants
It's
to
more
set up a
convenient.
menu.
Like, how could
Same with
I
Ted
make
Bundy. He could
this
have
man,
used Tinder for that, too.
this man who?
He wouldn't have had to pretend his leg was broke and get people to, like, hey, well, let's hook up. And then they go to, like, wherever he killed him, and then that's fine.
I think that
they're
takes-
already there.
I'm about to sound real creepy,
Go ahead.
but I think that takes it takes away from it because it's like
It takes away
it's
from
a prey, right? It's like a predator and prey.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even
that's
though I don't
dumb.
think it's like I know,
We're
but I
just trying
think
to
that's the whole
get it done.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
the
like,
whole thing about
I'm about
it, though.
efficiency.
Yeah. Like I want to efficiently kill people.
Yeah,
I don't want to
like,
do it.
We're trying to do quality, not quantity, or quantity, not quality.
Then you're more of a you don't have it for
I'm
a
a
serial. You're
speed.
spree killer.
Okay,
Well, if that's
no,
the-
it would just do it all the time.
Well, if that's the case, then you would just. I
don't know.
Obviously, first off, before we get in, we are getting into some really terrible shit. But like, if that was his goal, then he would just be like the dude in Orlando, right?
Is there a dude in
efficient.
Orlando?
Yeah, the
Oh.
horrible nightclub killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this is coming out the same week that Pride Week or Pride Month starts. So
Yeah.
let's talk about this.
I think you picked that.
Let's talk about all the
just because
horrible
of-
things.
Yeah.
Let's talk about all the
That's why we
horrible
have
things.
Annie here. is 'cause
Oh my God, I'm your token.
You're a token gay. No, I'm the token gay. You're just the gayer.
No, you're a
They
fetish.
believe you. I know.
She is.
They
a
believe
fetish.
him. We love each other.
Yeah. Thank you.
I hold hands with all of our guests.
I just appreciate this. You said fetish because I do think bis are just fetishes.
I don't believe that joke.
You should believe
don't.
it.
We've had the debate too.
It's a good debate, and
I'm
I think
not
it's
bi.
true. Huh?
I'm not bi.
You're pan.
I mean,
Pan-
me and Matt
Pan
had
is
this
just
talk.
bi without any of the restriction, without
Yeah.
any of the like rules. It's just
Yeah.
anybody can say they're pan. Like they can just say they're pan and be like, well, I don't know why. I just randomly always like women. I don't know. Like it just to me it seems so. It's like it.
I hate you.
If you look at if you look up the LGBT like percentages,
No, I
the
get it.
highest percentage is the Bs by far.
Yeah.
But there's no social backlash to be a B. You can literally date the
'cause
opposite sex and be cis and do all the things that you normally do and not have to have any of the. You can just be like, I've always been B, even though I've never dated women at all. Like there are so many like that, and I'm not
Right.
trying to be crazy, but I think it's kind of like
There are a lot, but there's also
it's a way
lot
for
that
white
I've
women
also
to be
dated.
a part of it, even when they're not.
I think it's a good transition period from being straight to lesbian.
what being bi.
Yeah.
I don't. Go ahead. Let's hear the expert. I feel like we're talking too much.
I
Well,
mean,
you
I
have your
feel
own
like
experience.
that's how mine kind of was, but I don't think like.
Are you serious during a
Abstain.
podcast? Well, usually.
Sorry.
Sorry, my
She has
ADD.
to
I'm like,
interrupt
what?
you.
I
She's
have
interrupted you like the
ADHD.
whole time, so I
know,
wanted
God.
to talk.
It was too next to me. I had to put it away, but I had to use it first because I found it.
No,
Sorry, I
but
drank
like,
coffee.
Let her talk, please.
My
Can you
whole
let her talk,
thing.
please?
like that's how I was. Like I was married before.
Yeah.
And like I knew that I liked girls.
Married to a man.
I was married to a man.
go
I
ahead.
knew that I liked girls. That person like one time caught me looking at like a girl's butt and then like completely like shamed me for it. It was just so weird, but that person also ended up like cheating and like all those things, so I think it was a lot of projecting and like
Yeah.
other things that I've also heard about that person, which I don't
Yeah, yeah.
care enough, but
Yeah.
so projecting a little bit, and then I was just like not brave enough, I guess. I don't like there's really no other way to say it. Like I was like, I don't.
You weren't ready.
Yeah, but I was like, oh my God, I've not like had enough experiences, so like what girl's gonna really like me? But then I was like, screw it. And then
You didn't know they like the flip straights. You didn't know that.
the what?
There's a lot of women that are out there
straights?
that want
Oh.
to flip straights. That's like their thing. Is like,
Oh, well, I don't think any. I mean, that's who I've like always been though. Then I'm like, oh yeah, it makes sense. I'm just gay.
yeah.
Like, I don't know how into it you want to
Yeah.
get.
No,
but,
I mean,
like,
no. It's your story. We're here. You're their guest.
No, I'm just saying like it can happen though. Like, I don't think it's like necessarily a leeway, but you're just like, this never really fit, and then you realize, oh, that's why, because I didn't like it. It wasn't supposed to.
You don't think it was just what I mean, and this is devil's advocate 100%, but you don't think maybe it was just that horrible guy?
No.
No, you're like, I'm 100% sure what I am now. Yeah, that makes sense. That's
yeah,
good.
I
That's good.
don't think it was, because not anyone, like when high school and stuff, not everyone was horrible to me.
Yeah.
It just, I was like, there's just something there.
What year did you graduate?
Right. 2005.
2005. Okay, so around the same when we did. You're a year before me. I graduated 06 or 07, right? We're like boom, boom, boom. We're like a step ladder here.
Yeah, I wasn't held back.
Yeah, you weren't?
No.
Neither was I.
I'm just kidding.
I was like, I don't know why we brought that up, but yeah. Like,
I'm just being mean to you.
you're talking to Courtney? Is that Courtney? Courtney, you held back again?
No, I wasn't. I actually graduated early.
Yeah. What'd
Because
you
I'm
do?
a genius.
I'm not going to be mean to Courtney. We're
picking
We're
on
picking,
no,
no,
we're
we're
Courtney.
picking on you.
Yeah, I'm
We're
not
picking
going
on
to pick
Courtney.
on Courtney.
No, why? She
Because
loves me.
because you're the worst. That's why. So you're the worst. We're calling it out. We're gonna say it like it is.
Dare you?
Yeah.
But,
yeah, you're the worst.
I'm the best.
You guys have the same glasses on, just different colors.
You also have the same glasses on, except different shapes.
Yeah. Well, no, you guys have the same shape though. That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
but you guys have the same color.
So is that like a new woman thing? Like we have to look at cats as much as possible?
I've had mine like this for a while.
Yeah.
I just like the bigger the glasses, the less of my face.
You want them to take up as much as your face?
Yeah,
Like
that's what I
Velma?
mean.
Like Velma style? Yeah. Like Scooby-Doo Velma.
I want to be all glasses.
That's one thing you guys both
My
have in
entire
common. You guys are
face.
both dressed up as Velma, right?
That was
for
my
Halloween.
costume.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I hope
that's
we
right.
both do the same thing in the Velma costume.
We might have.
Oh no! Hopefully not with the same person, but sometimes
No.
I'm scared.
That is my.
Yeah.
Her cousin talks sometimes.
Oh, God.
We're not related. If I'm drunk, it's fine.
Oh God. See, this is the family I'm gonna
Yeah, you're...
marry into.
You guys are married into the weirdest family, you know?
That's fine.
How many of your aunts have their tits done? 2 sets?
2.
That's so crazy to me.
Really? I didn't know anyone.
I feel like that's insane, right?
I'm learning family secrets.
There's
Just watch
so
the
many.
podcast.
Oh yeah, God, no,
Quite
not
a
on,
few.
not on the podcast. I'm gonna see them.
We have
Yeah.
quite a few.
Yeah, you guys have a lot going on. I mean, if the amount of the relationship between Courtney's family and Miller's Bar is probably the one you have to learn
Miller's
the
isn't
most.
open anymore.
Did they close down?
I think so.
I don't know.
The thing about me though is like I'm a Kokomo transplant, so I have no idea what any
Yeah,
of
where
these
are you
things
originally
are.
from?
Muncie.
Muncie? Okay, I thought you were from out of state. For some reason, I was like, she's not even from this state, bro.
No.
That's cool, at least. For
She's
some
new.
reason.
She's new to Kokomo, so she's been like learning all the new stuff.
Yeah.
And then like
What's your favorite thing?
The Coco Mantis.
Yeah, is that really it?
No, I love the Coco Mantis.
That's awesome. I mean, you know, they just say,
like
oh,
she's
love it
she's
so
so
much.
excited to be like a new Kokomo resident.
Yeah.
You
And
like
the
it better than
Pops.
Muncie?
It's the same. It's pretty much like Muncie to me.
Yeah.
I think that's why I love it so
Size-wise?
much.
Like size-wise or feel-wise?
I mean, think everything about it. Like you guys have the college. Muncie has the college. There's just like,
Muncie has a bigger college, though. Ball State.
Yeah,
right? Is it Ball
but-
State?
yeah, it's Ball State.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But I don't know. It just doesn't seem that
Yeah.
different. There's nothing like, I mean, Muncie actually has more. They have better stores than Muncie.
Yeah. What stores? Like
Fresh Time.
What's Fresh Time? Is it like a...
It's like
Is
the
that
It is. It's the grocery store.
That's
They
a
grocery
grocery
that's
store.
like the
Yeah.
when we were vegetarians, that's what we liked better.
that
'cause
makes
it's like
sense.
the fancy.
What happened there? Why'd
Grass-fed.
you guys just couldn't get your nutrients you needed? That's a common problem.
Because we were eating processed vegetarian stuff, and it's like full of
Dirty
carbs
veggie,
and
dirty
yeah,
vegetarian, yeah.
That's that's good. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, vegetarian. dirty
vegetarian.
vegetarian.
That's all I got.
Nobody wants to be a dirty vegetarian. That wouldn't be good. You,
Yeah, that's true. I don't
you said it. I don't know why you were...
Don't talk about my cousin like that.
No, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't want to do with my hands. I'm nervous. I'm talking about stupid things. Like,
I'm nervous. No, like honestly, like with like vegetarian or like any elimination diet, it can get really hard really quickly because you can't. It's hard as much as protein there is in broccoli. Not all of it's like bioavailable, so that's a huge issue that you have. Like broccoli is one of the highest protein vegetables that you can get that people will eat. But also, most like a decent portion of it isn't bioavailable, like meat. So it's hard to just keep
just
it up.
like,
Yeah, and
much.
people do like dirty keto as well, where they'll
God.
eat pretty much processed like meats all day and processed cheese, and it's like the same problem. Yeah.
yeah, keto's. I did that for a while, and it was not good.
It's a fasting mimicking diet. I feel like if you're gonna do it, you might as well just fast and do do long fasts daily.
I don't know. It's just weird. Like I had to force myself to. Like I just remember sitting in bed and forcing myself to eat cheese to get like these macros, and I'm like, this can't be healthy. Like this can't.
Oh, you were like strict. You're strict to that.
Yeah. Like I had to like test my pee and stuff.
Oh, I did that. Well, that only works for so long though, because at some point you become like the acetone doesn't release.
You plateau.
You use it. Yeah, you use it instead of. Because at the beginning you like pee it out and then you start to use it and then it doesn't come out your urine anymore. You have to like do the blood test. I have a pricker.
Oh, I don't care. Obviously.
Yeah, I got really serious about it for a minute with the keto thing. I'm 15. I've lost 15 in the last month.
Good job.
And that's just from doing fasting again. So I just have to stick to it.
Just don't gain it back.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good one.
Have we thought about not?
Have you put
gaining
any of
weight?
it on at all?
Have you just thought about like not?
Have you put any of it on? Have you put any of it back on?
Me? Yeah, 10 pounds.
Yeah, I wondered. It's like you look like you've put a little bit, but you still look healthy. Like
Right.
you don't look like you got really skinny.
But mine
there for
was
a minute.
I quit smoking and then I was on prednisone a lot and then like
That makes sense.
winter.
Yeah, winter.
Winter.
Is really that's why
Yeah.
I put it on. I usually lose
I'm
it.
working to get back down to like 140. I'm like at 150 right now.
Yeah.
My mom came up to me last week, and she poked me in the stomach and said, "You know, if you start gaining weight back, you're gonna get back to where you were." And then I cried.
Oh God.
I feel like there's a nicer way to say that.
Yeah.
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 And I don't think you're gonna be.
Yeah.
I don't think where you were. I feel like that
Yeah.
sounds really mean because there's nothing wrong.
Right, but
With-
I 10 pounds is not, and I was also
No.
sitting like this because I was trying to tan.
Yeah.
So like,
Like I don't know. That's so.
I can tell that I've gained more weight, but like,
Yeah.
it's not gross.
Yeah.
I mean,
America
not
has that unique.
You know what I mean? It's not
Oh my God.
Am I being fat
I'm
shamed?
not, no, I am. I'm fat shaming myself.
To me, it's all about comfort. If you're comfortable where you're at and you feel like good, who gives a shit? To me, it's like the bigger I am, the more uncomfortable I am. Not just like societal pressure wise, like physically, like when
That's
I go
how
to
I
bed at
feel.
night.
That's how I feel. Like, I felt better about myself because like I was wearing like size mediums and stuff, and I mean I still wear the same size. I'm just 10 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
I just feel like I feel heavier,
Yeah, I get
but
it.
not like
Yeah.
I don't
Uncomfortable.
know. I sometimes yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as long as to me, when it comes to weight can fluctuate up and down. I just feel like you more have to like figure out where your zone is, where you're comfortable, where you feel healthy, where you feel the best version of yourself, but you're still like not so strict that you're like killing yourself.
I mean, I was at 140 and I was still technically obese.
Yeah.
So that's what that.
BMI is fucking.
Yeah.
It's all dumb. I don't think it's.
None of it
any
makes sense anymore
Yeah.
because we hold weight differently. We used
Yeah.
to have more muscle as a
And a lot of my weight is just skin. Like
yeah.
it's not really like fat.
Epidermis, baby. You know what I'm saying?
It's
the
I
largest
got
organ.
extra if anybody needs some.
You got what?
Extra skin?
Extra.
I have a specific area where I lost some when I was a baby. Can I have some for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want your...
Courtney's giving foreskins back.
Oh my god, I am.
Courtney's out here like, hey, do you need your foreskin back?
I got you.
Oh, that sounds.
I'm just imagining the infomercial. Hi, I'm Courtney, and I have a solution for meninus. Is that what they're called? Men's right MRAs. I'm here for MRAs. You miss your foreskin? Let's get it back.
What the heck is an MRA?
Men's rights activist.
Oh, I thought that's what those.
Meals ready to eat. That's MRE.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. The military ones. I was like, I don't understand this.
mRNA. You guys thinking about mRNA? I'm just
I
kidding.
was-
We'll just add all the different
Yeah.
acronyms for
fine.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's DNA stand for? Do you guys remember?
No.
No.
Why would we know that?
I just want to know. It's something nucleic acid.
The power, the nuclear, the
The-
mitochondria,
Demo-
the power.
I feel. I'm just feeling dumb now. Like,
I know, right? We're getting
welcome
into
to
science.
this podcast. Do you know what DNA stands for? No. Okay.
Doing trivia.
I didn't even get a Core 40 diploma, so I
All
don't
right,
know
that's
what
the end of the
I didn't
podcast. That's the end of the podcast. Nobody knows what the answer is. So, we do have something very important to bring up with you today, because obviously, as the resident Swiftie,
I was waiting for that.
exposing Matty
I
Healy,
suddenly-
Taylor Swift's offensive and toxic boyfriend. So I do have a couple of things here. So people are coming after this guy. He's the lead singer of the 1975.
Yes.
He was actually on the Adam Friedland Show podcast, which is one of the things he got in trouble for, which I'm a huge fan of the Come Town podcast. So to me, it's great. You know what I mean? Because they're just super offensive, but they're also left-winging. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know who the 1975 is
Yeah.
because of Taylor. Like, I'm not gonna
You never heard of them
That's
before
true.
that? No.
No, not like really. I've heard of them, like not really like listen to them or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I'm surprised I've never heard them. I really like it. And then it was like the day later, like all the stuff about him comes out, and I was like, great. I'm not allowed to like him, but yeah. But I was reading more about it because like I've never heard of that podcast or that guy at all.
Well, it's Nick Mullen, Adam Friedland, and a guy named Stavros Halkias had a podcast for a long time, especially during the pandemic. It blew up, and it was called Come Down is the name of the podcast. Come Down. And it's like super offensive. They say a bunch of like they just use slurs that nobody uses nowadays, but it's like it feels old school in a way, but they're also super left-leaning guys. They just do it as a joke.
They're just
I
mean, he just kind of seems like a douchey edgelord, but his heart is going to be
Matt?
like in the right place.
Yeah,
like that's. I mean, I'm just saying, like you say things that are outlandish or whatever because that's going to get the attention. Like I was reading a thing where he was at a show and he was doing like the salute.
Nazi salute.
The Nazi salute.
Yeah.
But he was talking about something with like Trump, and he was supposed to like saying like that's like Trump doing it or something. Yeah.
The context of it matters. People ignore context all the time for a clip.
It was because of one of his songs.
Yeah,
It was like
something
anti-Trump, and then he ends up doing
Yeah. Because there's a lot of things like people are like, oh, he'd eat raw meat on stage. I'm like, I don't care. I mean, I worry for his health because that seems bad not to eat.
Oh, you can eat raw meat.
Yeah.
You can eat raw meat.
Well, I don't want to do it on stage though.
Like
there's gross
steak
things.
steak tartare is like basically raw meat. You just eat like it gets seared on the outside and it's raw.
Yeah,
on the
but
inside.
like on stage though, isn't that kind of gross? Like I'm talking about like I don't know if people who's handling it. That's what I mean. I think that's gross.
Okay, so I just found this out
It's really
recently.
hot, and he's eating raw meat. Like,
Yeah,
like drinking milk.
right. It's like, oh my god, it's 100 degrees outside.
I'm only grossed out because he's eating meat and it's really hot out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like I'm just thinking it's
Spoiled
you're
meat.
making
Your nose will tell you if your meat is spoiled. People like
I can't
they don't-
smell
Yeah,
those,
that's
so
not true.
Well, you might have that issue because of smelling, but if you have a nose that works, then you can tell if meat's spoiled or
I
not.
have people smell my meat for me.
People act like we didn't exist
our only
before the
fans.
modern era. Before the FDA, we didn't exist. Everybody acts like before the FDA, we didn't exist. Like we had no way of knowing any of this shit. You know that like the mad cow and all the things that we're worried about, like trichinosis. There hasn't been a case in the United States for like. There's been one case in the last like 20 years, and I think at the most, like we've practically eliminated trichinosis. We've practically eliminated. It's like more happens in other countries. It doesn't happen here. Where our FDA actually, our regulations are really tight and they're really strict. Like if you have any part that doesn't test on a cow, they have to shut down and like re-sanitize the entire place for like 4 hours before they can restart. And that's like, they have FDA regulators in these slaughterhouses. It's pretty crazy. It's not like it used to be. So that's why we don't like you could eat raw meat now and it's like eating raw.
But what if it's been sitting out?
Yeah, I think that's my thing. Is like I just
How
feel
long
like
has this meat been in this cooler?
how long is this? How many songs deep is he before he's like taking a handful?
Does
of
he got it in his
hamburger and,
pocket?
like, yeah, I would,
He's got a
see, I
fanny
don't
pack full
know.
of raw meat.
But I'm just saying that's what people would point out, saying that he was
Yeah.
like problematic because he ate raw meat on stage and he would kiss his fans. Like,
That's the one I was waiting to hear from
Yeah.
you.
The
The kissing the fans one is the weirdest one. I mean, it was all consensual, and he'd always ask ages.
Yeah.
I know for the longest time there was like there was an
Akon.
well, no, there was a huge
it?
issue with him because they were like, "Are you making sure that your fans are
Oh,
age?"
yeah.
When one girl was like never had kissed a guy before.
Wasn't it Akon that
And
brought
she-
a girl on stage and started dancing on her and she was underage?
Oh, there's a lot of guys like that.
sure.
Fucking
But he
Genuine did that.
Oh, shit.
he does check, as far as I know, I've never been to a show, but
Yeah.
check their IDs
Yeah,
and
yeah.
made sure it was like consensual. And he was also like, that's why like it's so weird because he is not someone that's like anti-gay or
No.
Semitic or any of this stuff. Like he was kissing dudes like in his
Yeah.
shows
Yeah.
too, and so
I feel like it's a lot of people taking him out of context that don't know who he is, or they just want Taylor. They want to fucking be mad at Taylor for something. It
Taylor's not
feels
allowed to
like.
date anyone.
well,
It's really it. It's really the truth.
it's the whole weird like parasocial relationships
Yeah.
too, because she's a really good songwriter. I mean, even if you don't like her music or whatever, like her songwriting ability is really great. She's really great connecting. And she's done like those, what are like the secret sessions where she invites fans to her house. So I think some fans may think they have like a part of her. Does that make like a friendship almost? Yeah. Because, but it's not like at the
It's
end
just
of the day,
modern
she
for
doesn't
any celebrity.
know.
Like
yeah.
people think if you can say the same thing for Beyonce or Kanye or anybody.
Yeah,
Anybody,
these people don't know we exist.
You think you have a relationship with this person, then you meet them and you like project your feelings of your relationship onto them, and they're like, I don't fucking know you.
Yeah.
And it's the same with
it's
Taylor.
like they think that she's gonna relate back because like
Yeah.
she doesn't know who you are.
And I don't know.
Celebrities can be such a part of important, formative parts of your life, but they weren't there. They were there, but they weren't there.
They weren't there.
You know what I mean? And it's like people will form. It's what's the guy that shot John Lennon? Like he had like an obsession with John Lennon before he killed him. Like an obsession.
And that guy never knew he existed until
exactly. And it's like, and John Lennon had no idea who he was. And I think he met him that day at like a book signing or something.
Yeah, he
weird.
signed something, and then later that night he
killed him.
He killed him.
Yeah, and it's like. That's the exact same thing we have on the internet, except for now we have even more access.
Wasn't
because
that the guy that killed
Twitter
Danzig too? Was like obsessed with him.
Yeah, usually that's how it works with celebrities.
Danzig.
It's like celebrity people that kill them. Danzig.
I don't know. What is the name?
Yeah, Danzig.
I don't know.
Nothing's happened with Danzig. I love Danzig.
Are you talking about the dude, the bass player from Pantera or whatever?
Maybe.
No, I know when he got punched.
Dimebag Daryl or whatever. Did he die?
That guy.
Oh.
Dimebag.
Dimebag.
I knew you were talking about.
Yeah.
He was killed on stage.
Yeah, it happens a lot. People were obsessed with like.
Yeah.
I looked up for the podcast. I was like, let me look up.
Somebody's gonna
I want to go to
Taylor
YouTube
Swift.
and look up Matt Healy and look at the first thing that pops up. Like you see, racist, and then his name, and then Taylor Swift.
That's because
drugs.
everybody's looking for it.
So
now.
racist came up before his actual before Matty Healy, and then I went here to see. I was like, let's see what's in the news about him, and there was a few different things. Obviously, the stuff with Ice Spice, the stuff with the Nazi salute, and the kiss. They got him and her kissing, and different things like that popped up in the news about him. And I was like, let's see what people are talking about, and let's see where he's coming from.
Yeah, it's
It's
Ice
weird.
Spice thing. I don't know. I didn't listen to the podcast. I'll be completely honest. I did not listen to the comments or anything like that. I know he was like they were making fun of her and I don't know if making fun of how she talks or they said that she like didn't know she was like Japanese or what her race or
I think they're
something like
people
that.
people were looking for things to be mad about.
Well, I mean,
Feels
I don't know why you would laugh at anyone's accent or
I think
anything
you would.
like that.
I laugh at accents all the time.
I mean,
Have you watched our podcast?
Yeah, if you haven't watched our podcast, people are laughing at accents all the time.
no. I mean, I don't know like their context. I mean, I know
Yeah,
like
yeah.
sometimes I'll make like a country accent, but like I don't know the
You're-
context
that's
of what
okay.
it was.
You're allowed to
Yeah.
make fun of white people accents. That's what you're saying.
Oh wow.
Well, that's really the truth. Like people look at it nowadays. Like you're no longer. People are so sensitive, and it's a good thing. I think it's the proper way to look at life. You want to not be insensitive to people's cultures,
Yeah.
to people that are struggling, people that are having maybe that sound a little different. Because usually that person that has like if it's a funny Asian accent to you, usually they're speaking English and they already know another language, and you know less languages than they do. So it's weird for you to make fun of it, but.
Yeah.
We have to admit when things sound funny. Like when you say certain words funny, you like if you said a funny word that was wrong, we'd laugh at you, as a
do.
joke.
You
We
guys
do it all the
do.
time.
Yeah.
People do it to each other, so it's
Yeah.
weird to be like, oh, you can't do that because that person's Asian. I actually feel like it's the other way around. You know what I mean? Or it's almost like you're being an anti-racist racist because you're like, oh, we can't joke with that person because we might
It's like
appear
the
racist.
whitewashing of.
You don't want
what
to
is it?
appear racist, so you don't want to
What is
make a
it?
joke.
Where the white people are offended by other cultures.
Yeah. White people are offended on behalf of other
Yeah.
people's
Oh,
cultures.
yeah.
It's like white women. White women. Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun,
mean,
dun.
that's kind of
Yeah.
I get that. with
Culturally, it's
this,
just
and
weird. Yeah.
I don't understand the call like where people like as Taylor fans like no you have to break up with this guy
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
like that
stupid.
that's
Okay,
weird
You
and
guys are not. You're not her friends.
no and like my whole thing and I've kind of I won't say like got into it or whatever because like Taylor Swift groups or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, okay, so like they talk about all this stuff with like Ice Spice, and I'm like, she's clearly on a song with Taylor, and I'll admit, the coming out of the song does seem very PR-y because of all this stuff, and like she's trying to do damage control. But if this girl's like, I love you, Taylor, on her Instagram, and doing a song with her, and doing a music video with her, and coming out with her on her tour, like I don't feel like I'm like, it seems like everything is okay, and then I'm met with, well, you don't know because, you know, such and such, like, this happens. And I'm like, but aren't you taking her voice away just as much as, you know what I mean? Because I don't feel like me as a white woman gets to go, no, you're really upset about this.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like Matty Healy said those stuff, and I know that you're like making songs with Taylor and doing videos and saying you love her, but you're actually upset.
Yeah.
And I take things maybe face value.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
She seems cool
We
with
don't
it.
know her. We don't
I
know
don't
them.
know. Like, we don't know what was said
We don't
behind
get to
closed
decide who
doors.
she dates.
Yeah.
It's a very, like you said, the parasocial relationship of the online and people want to like defend you even when you don't need defending. And I think that's the Karen, the opposite of Karen culture, where it's the people that we need a name for, because we have a name for Karens, people that give, and it's the perfect name because they care more than they should about something that has nothing to do with them. Well, it's the same concept. You care more than you should about something that has nothing to do with you, but not in the same setting where you're causing a problem, like with the police or something. You know what I mean?
You're not wanting to like speak to the manager. You're wanting to
Speak for the celebrity.
you're wanting to speak for the person who got yelled at.
Actually, Ice Spice, let me take this one. We are very offended on behalf of Ice Spice.
Yeah.
It's just a weird situation.
That's what I don't get. And I don't think Taylor doesn't owe us anything. Taylor doesn't. I get how people are like, well, it's condoning the behavior.
No.
I mean, I
get
I
it.
personally get like where they're coming from, like what they're saying. But I also don't like Taylor doesn't have to apologize for who she's dating. Taylor doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm sorry, my boyfriend said this. Like,
she doesn't. He's
I'm
an
not gonna
autonomous
apologize
human.
for everything
No.
that said.
yeah, right. Like
He's an autonomous human anyway. He makes his own. He says what he needs to say. He can deal with the consequences. I don't think it's Taylor's job. Like if the court of public opinion is going to decide who we all date, like that's fucked up. Like if I was like, actually, you can't date Jessica because one time she said something that offended everybody, you'd be like, I don't care.
yeah.
Like, and then in this situation particularly, what really bothers me, it's like people are mad about something they weren't mad about when it happened. They're mad later, like they're mad
Taylor's
3-4 months
now.
later because of his association with her.
Yeah.
Because like when he said it, they weren't interested in him. They didn't give a shit what he was saying. They don't. They literally don't care now. They just want to be able to control a celebrity,
Somebody.
a celebrity, which is even weirder.
And I don't like a lot of people bring up too because
Taylor
so
Swift
there
fans
was
are odd. They're like
they
Dave
really
Matthews
are.
Band fans.
I've had more Swifties, and okay, so there's a subset of Swifties called Gaylers.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So and that is
So
where,
what sets them apart from?
So okay, so there's Gaylers and then Hetlers. Okay, I know. So there's a lot. You have to really listen to Taylor Swift lyrics, but people think that Taylor Swift is like bisexual or queer in some way.
So she's queer baiting.
Well, I personally don't think so, but I mean, who knows?
Well, if there's
Because-
a subset of people that believe she is,
No, Gaylers think that Taylor's queer, like herself.
but
that
she's
she
queer,
is.
but like that's so weird to that's so weird to attribute something that nobody
it's
said.
so weird.
I don't know.
It's weird
Weird.
to me.
Okay,
Yeah.
but let me.
Okay, go ahead.
There's
explain.
lyrics
Continue.
though. Like if you, it
No,
might be weird to you too.
I understand the story and stuff, and I
Yeah.
understand like she does. She hints it.
Yeah,
a lot.
she does because there's.
But it could
like-
also be people like looking for the hints.
Yeah, it's like
There's some,
It's
yeah.
like Nostradamus. Like,
Yeah.
he clearly predicted the future, and it's because you're taking something from now and you're putting
it.
onto the.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things I get that, but
So the
there's some where
Hetlers and the
she's-
Gaylers, the heterosexual Taylor fans, and so you guys have separated yourself. You guys have segregated yourself by your sexual orientation in order to be her
No,
fans.
by,
That's
by
hilarious.
whether they think her
sexual orientation.
Yeah, but you made it pretty clear that a lot of the people that are Gaylor fans are gay. They're probably gay people that believe.
Not
this
all
shit.
of them, because honestly, the most mean Swiftie fans have been straight Gaylers.
Oh God.
Yeah, like I've been called homophobic because I said maybe she's bi. And I was like, maybe Taylor's bi to
Or
say like
pan,
all
or-
of her relationships are beards.
Why don't we ask
and
her?
it's like you're homophobic.
Why don't we go by who she's dated,
And-
which is only men?
Yeah, well but like so one of her lyrics has like a hairpin drop, and like hairpin drop is like it's queer coding basically. Let someone know that you're gay. God, now that it's like right here
Don't
I'm
make
talking
that
about
face.
it.
That sounds like queer baiting to me. If she's
I
not,
mean,
if she
but
hasn't
some
come
people
out as
think-
gay and she's doing things that are a part of gay culture, it feels like that's exactly what it feels like, queer baiting. It doesn't. It feels like she's more problematic about that than she is. Like,
Well-
she should come out and say whether she's gay and not do things that Unless, like I said, people are attributing to it.
I don't think anyone has to come out. That's I think that she possibly could have to like her close friends. I don't know. But also, I don't care.
It also doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
Hold on.
People that are obsessed with whoever
Hold on. Can we?
sleeping with is
Okay,
weird.
so nobody has to come out. I agree with that completely. But if you have a large subsection of gay fans and you are pro-gay and you are pro everything and you're in the closet and you're successful and rich and what other than she doesn't want to because that's her private business, which isn't a fair thing to say when you have your whole life in the public, which she does. She writes songs about her exes. It's not fair to put half your life in the public and ignore the other half. My question there would be, if she, right now, the way I'm looking at it is she's profiting off of gay culture in some way by queer baiting. But if she's hiding that she's gay, then I think that actually, like, if she's still in the closet and she's not being like her true self in front of people, I actually feel like that's more problematic than it would be. Oh, it's just she's allowed to. Wouldn't it kind of be a little bit? Problematic. Like, if you look at it that way.
No, I mean I get it, cause especially like, if you look at her whole like "You Need to Calm Down" video, like. Yeah. And there's a lot of queer artists in there. Her wig in that video is like the bi-color flags. And I mean, I think that's kind of like people's issue, though. Like, they're lumping it in with the Matty Healy stuff. But now they're like, so there's like these drag queen bands and, you know, trans bands and like everything. And she's staying silent. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I get on that. But I look at celebrities more of like, she's a human, but she's a corporation.
Yeah, she is.
You know what I mean? So,
for sure.
Especially in the whole Bud Light thing. Like, do you think anyone now is going to speak for anything?
Yeah. Well, let's get into this because I really thought with you having you here it would be interesting. So the Target thing, it's been popping off lately. Target's been the target.
Target has been doing this.
Target has been they've leaned in really heavily based on what I've read online. But Target has basically for Pride Month every year they do like Pride merch. Yeah. Basically, it's like, hey, it's a Pride merch store, which to me I think all that stuff's problematic in the first place because it's just corporations making money off of
they very much are
subsets of culture in order to like
gay for the June stay.
Yeah, they're queer baiting for June.
They are.
Gay they don't provide the stuff the rest of the year.
But this is the first year that, in my opinion, they actually are putting their product where their mouth is. They're not just putting shirts that say LGBTQ Pride or Pride. They're actually making stuff that actually appeals to queer people.
Well, last year they did it with binders. They had the
they still do, but now they've got the tuck-friendly crotch design that they're working with. But a lot of people are frustrated because they feel like there's a lot of it's been geared towards like young teens, like, or not even teens, like younger than teens. Like, so like I think the argument that a lot of people have and the reason why people are boycotting is they feel like it does feel groomerish. You know what I mean? And that's what they're saying. Instead of they want, like, why would an 8-year-old need to tuck? You know what I mean? Like, you should just be an 8-year-old.
Is that
what the bottom one is, though?
Yes, it's a child's. It's a
There's child.
That's what I'm saying. Now you're see what I'm saying. No. That's why people are frustrated. But there are children versions of these.
Is that real though? Like, this is not something.
No, it's just been confirmed through Target.com, through Target. Like, that's what I'm saying.
They have child-sized bathing suits
and binders. Target. They have binders for children, and I think like for 8 to 9 to 10-year-olds, like young kids. And I feel like at that age, it might be a little too young to be leaning in. I think teenagers. I think once you actually develop breasts, that might be a good time to worry about binders. But 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds seem a little.
I feel like that's also a bad idea too because they're still growing.
Yeah. It's true.
And binding them is not gonna. I don't know.
It's hard for me though too because I'm not trans, and I'm not like I mean I'm a girl. I like being a girl. Yeah. So it's one of those things like I don't know because I don't know what it's like to be like a child that feels trapped in their own body.
True. Yeah.
I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah. Let's extrapolate it out. Let's say you're a child.
But these are also your children. Like, are you going to buy this for your child? Because children also don't have money.
Yeah.
So I feel like if my child comes to me and says, I want to be a girl or I want to be a boy, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to go out and like, I don't know. I'm not gonna like push it. I was like that. Okay, you can think that now, but I'm not gonna like force that on you to where like not really force it on you. I'm not gonna like encourage it.
Per
se.
You're not gonna become an advocate for
You're
them.
not gonna. That's not who you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Like,
My
you're
thing
still
is,
gonna be my child, and I'm not gonna go out.
I think what
and
you're
like,
saying is you're kind of getting yourself in a really.
Yeah,
you're backing yourself into
I
a
am.
corner because you haven't thought the way you want to say this. But you've said it before, and what you basically are saying is you're not gonna unaffirm their
I will
their
support
feelings.
them. I'm just not
But
gonna like.
You're like, hey, let's bump the brakes, give yourself a chance to grow, and then when you're
Yes.
older, and I feel like we've come to this agreement together where like almost like your parents are the people pretend that parents aren't a part of the growth of their children once they hit a certain age.
Right.
People act like parents all of a sudden aren't relevant at 17. I'm sorry, but at 17 your parents are still relevant in your life.
Yeah.
They still are your guardian. They are your parental guardian. And I think from 17, 16, at 18, we've decided as a society at 18, that's the age where, okay, no matter what we think about your maturity, this is the age we've decided you have a deadline. You have to be mature by this age. And we've decided that. And I think a lot of the outrage on the right about the LGBT, specifically T, obviously, is the whole concept of like, we don't allow kids to have. We literally just raised the age of cigarettes from 18 to 21. We don't allow you to drink at 21. You can't vote till you're 18. You can't drive until you're basically 17 at this point, because like you can't, like before it was like 15 and a half, then it was 16, now it's 17. It's going to eventually, everything's going to be 21, right. I feel like. They're just going to move it all to 21. And you can't get a tattoo till you're 18. There's so many things that were like, you're not old enough to, and they're like, how can a person decide they want to alter the chemistry of their body?
I feel
but
like,
they can't have a cigarette. That's weird to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I think
I want to give you the opportunity to decide.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to have it so where you can't decide that you don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
Like.
But don't you think these things kind of offer, to me, if I had a child and they said, you know, I feel this way, then to me, those products are a way of, okay, let's try this. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if you feel like you need to bind or
but 8
whichever.
and 10 years old?
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah, 8 and 10 seems young.
I don't know. I mean, I know. I feel like
I know.
it's one of those things. Like, I don't know because I've never experienced that.
We'll take my 4-year-old son. My 4-year-old son doesn't know. He wants me to paint his nails. There's all girls.
Yeah, who cares?
He wants me to paint his nails. I'll paint his nails. I don't care.
Yeah.
He wanted to be Maribel for Halloween. Yeah. I said, okay, I'll buy you the dress, but we're gonna wear it at home, and I'll be Maribel, and you could be Bruno.
Yeah.
So, because, like, I'm not going to have my son dressed up as a girl walking around outside. Like,
Yeah.
Not that it's bad.
Yeah.
But it's not bad at home for me. I don't want him to, like...
You don't want him to face society.
I don't want somebody to come up to me and be like, oh, my God. To my son, who was very happy in this dress and costume, which is fine.
Yeah.
It was... What did he have? He wanted a hair bow in his hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you sure? I was like, boys don't usually have hair bows in their hair, but I explained it to him, like, not like saying that he can't. I just said, like in passing as I'm putting it in his hair, and it's like, and he's like, no, I still wanted it. He's 4. Who cares?
He's also surrounded entirely by girls and women.
Yeah.
Like a girls and a woman. Like he has his dad obviously, but like when you're all your siblings, I have all older sisters who are way older. Like,
but Elena doesn't wear bows. Like the girls don't do very girly things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
He just identifies there. I think he identifies with that character.
I'm not going to start buying him dresses. I'm not going to like keep buying him hair.
You haven't decided for him that he's a trans woman.
He did.
That's what
he wanted one hair bow. I'm not going to go buy him more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and I get that because there's certain things like I loved boy stuff growing up. I was
a tomboy
Ninja Turtles. Too. Yeah, and like
wrestling.
I still love wrestling, and so I mean. I think that now, yes, there's some parents who are like, oh, you like these things. Do you feel like you're... Yeah. I'm not saying that doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think that's the overwhelming majority where people think that's how people are. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I do. I have this. I was going to bring this up, and I was going to get your guys' opinion on this. This actually has a little bit to do with it. It said, this is transparent trans kid on... Reddit, and it's anyone else having trouble convincing your teens to continue transitioning. My 14-year-old daughter has started refusing her estradiol, so I've been crushing the pills and putting it in her cereal in the morning. I'm not sure why she doesn't want to take her pills anymore. So this actually came up. This very conversation came up in the Jazz Jennings the Jazz Jennings show. Who was a Canadian boy who transitioned to a girl at a very young age before puberty, and was on puberty blockers fuckers and never fully developed as a boy before transitioning to a complete woman. And there's been a lot of talk because Jazz Jennings' mother has been on record saying to her, if I will wake you up in the middle of the night and dilate for you if you do not get up. I will shove it up there and dilate myself if you don't do it, because Jazz doesn't want to dilate.
What is that?
When you have transition, when you have the surgery, you have
to. Okay.
You have to dilate twice a day, or because it's in this,
it'll close up and you won't.
It's an open wound, really. Yeah. Like it sucks, but like the reality is we don't have the technology that we need in order to address bodily decisions, on both sides, and it's including on the male, the genitalia side as well of transitioning. Is they have to remove entire portions of skin. It's such scary looking, and I hate it so much as the view. But I'm like, you're an adult. You do what the fuck you want. I don't care what you do. But in this situation, Jazz is 21 years old, and her mom is still trying to, it feels a little bit like force and I understand that, like, the thing is, like, we spent all this money for you to have this surgery.
But that also is very dangerous if they don't dilate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like,
kind of what I was thinking.
Like, you can get infections and it will kill you.
So, like, I wonder if it was more of a, like...
I'm worried that you're going to get sick.
Yeah, or, like, you've done this. If you've already done it, I don't really see, like... To me, that's not the same as the crushing of the pills thing.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if she's already had the surgery...
So, like, if you... Let's say I had the surgery and Courtney's like, I'm going to forcibly penetrate your, vagina... If you don't do it yourself, that would be a problem if anybody else said that. It's her mother, so everybody's like, oh, it's okay. And I'm like, and she said, if you don't, I'm going to hit you. Like, she's like, I will.
No, I mean, that's not okay.
Weird.
That's not okay.
That's where I think that's where a lot of people are confused.
But I also say that to my kids sometimes.
Of course, we do. And that's why in my head, I'm like, I kind of get it. Because I'm like, if you don't do this, I'm going to fucking knock you out.
Like, if you don't fucking stop, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. I say that
But you never beat the shit out of you.
No, I've never beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, it's just talking. Yeah, I think that it gets really these things get really confusing. It's like Jazz in particular. Like I said, Jazz never went through male puberty, so because of that, Jazz will have never developed sensations that. So now Jazz has a vagina that has no feelings.
When did he have the surgery? Or
she had this. She had the surgery. I think at like 16, 17, 18, around that age.
That's so young. I didn't know what I was.
Jazz has been trans since Jazz was like 6.
Yeah. I don't know who I was when I was that old.
I know. I think that's the hard part.
Yeah, because
outside of trans people, we can't understand that.
And
because I mean, I didn't know who I was. For a really long time.
You were married.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
So, I still, like, half the time don't know who the fuck I am. Like,
being, like,
I don't know who I'm going to be in, like, 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to make decisions for your entire life when you're a teenager. Like, I feel like you can't. I feel like we do have to pump the brakes a little bit on... obviously, there's, like, Brinders, who gives a shit. Tuckers, who gives a fuck. Like, honestly, those two things are, like, so small. I think the medical intervention is where I think... That's where we have to have an honest conversation as a society with children, because we have to admit that bad parents exist, and we have to admit that bad parents can be pro-trans and not realize that there can still be bad parents and pro-trans. That's possible. Just like you can be, anti-trans and a bad parent, or anything in a good parent. Like you can be a good trans parent.
And accepting your kids and helping them transition and helping them throughout the entire process doesn't make you a bad parent. It's like
we just need to know who's making the decisions here. Let the kid lead. Let the kid lead, and then you be the adult in this. A lot of these adults don't want to be the adult in the situation. They just want to be a part of the process.
It's a very emotional, like, very impactful decision.
Yeah.
And that should be done in, like, a long period of time, not like, I decided that I want to be a boy right now.
It's it.
And then, okay, well, then let's start the process of you being a boy. Like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah, let's work through this.
Let's like okay, well, we'll try this and see if you like it. We can try this and see if you're uncomfortable with it. Like I've bought. I don't want to bring my kids into it, but like.
Yeah.
No, I get it, because that's how I think I'd be as a parent. Like if I had a kid, like I said, and they're like, "Oh, I think I'm a boy," or "I think I'm a girl," or "This is how I feel."
Like different types of clothing I've purchased.
Yeah, I would get those things.
Right.
I would get like whatever things that they needed.
Which maybe this could be the same.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think those. I personally, I would not do surgery.
Yeah, no.
I would not. And
I wouldn't give my kids the estrogen or testosterone either.
Yeah.
Until they're old enough to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that alters your body.
Yeah.
And your chemistry in your body, and it can make you very sick, and it can. Like,
I think it's all situational based on individual children, or children, I hate saying that.
Individual
kids, individual families, individual everything. I think you can't prescribe a one-size-fits-all method for every trans kid.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
some trans kids need a different level of, or different amount of care than others. And we all know that. And I think at the end of the day, a lot of the pushback comes from absolutists on both sides.
Yeah.
So I think most people are in a sensible middle where we're like, I don't care what clothes they wear. I don't care how you want to present yourself physically, gender wise. But I think the arguments are all on the fringe, which is, like we don't think you should ever get surgery, and there's no such thing as trans, versus we think that kids as young as 7 should be gender affirming care medically. And I'm like, gender expression can exist without gender affirming care.
Yes,
at
exactly.
a young age anyway.
That's what, like, I'll do the haircuts. I don't care about the hair.
Who cares?
I don't care what you're wearing.
Yeah.
Like, swim trunks instead of a bikini. That's fine. I don't
cares?
care.
Yeah.
Boxers instead of panties. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you can express yourself without changing your entire body's makeup.
Exactly. I think that's the healthiest way to look at it as
a child.
As a child
and
a
as you
parent.
get older, and if you decide that you want to do the rest of the stuff, then go for it.
Yeah.
That's your money. That's your insurance. That's doing it, not mine.
It's your body at that point too.
Like, body autonomy is fantastic, but as a child, I don't feel like you should change the entire makeup of your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really crazy
really is.
conversation to have. And we're trying to have it in a way that's fair to everybody. And I think that's what's important. And the fringe on both sides, I think, are fucking up the real conversation, which is, let's just make sure these kids are safe and protected.
Yeah, there's so much shit going on.
Yeah.
And this should not be something they're worried about.
No, not at all. Yeah.
There are so many other things.
And if you're worried about a short haircut for your daughter, or your son wearing some fingernail polish, then at that point, that's more on you
That's
than
a you
them.
problem.
But I do think a lot of people like to focus on the fringe sides. Like I said, people like to focus on the surgeries. People like to focus on, the younger kids side of it. And I'm like, when you get to be a teenager, when you're like 13, 14 years old, you can decide whether you want to wear boy clothes, girl clothes, or gender nonconforming clothes, or whatever you want to wear at that age.
I just think
I was a tomboy. I wore boys' clothes. My dad bought
But
me
I
boys'
think
clothes.
the whole boys' clothes and girls' clothes is stupid anyways. They're clothes. I don't know why they're gendered. Like, I don't...
Stereotypically is what I'm speaking.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just saying, though, like, I feel like it goes... I know I'm kind of going off whatever, but it's even, like, shirts that says, like, for girls, it's going to be, like, future nurse, and then boys, it's, like, future doctor, and, like... or little heartbreaker, or like whatever. So that's where I kind of get irritated at some of the conversations of like, oh, well, you're grooming or you're sexualizing kids, when literally you have a onesie that says future heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Or so like who is sexualizing kids?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we're not birthing babies and, putting them in shirts that said, like, future queer or future...
To be fair, if you're a young boy and you're wearing future heartbreaker, that's not genderized, because, in my opinion, you could break boys' or girls' hearts. It doesn't fucking matter what gender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gender wasn't right
get
for that part,
it.
but
Yeah.
I mean more of, like, the sexualized part.
I think what people don't like is flag stuff. They don't want the flag. Like, it's the same. I think that what they're saying and I don't think this is a hill that anybody should die on, because I think it's a stupid argument. But I think their argument is, it's not. Kids are wearing it for the same reason kids were goth or punk when we were kids. It's in order to be
the same reason my daughter
part
started
of the
wearing
group.
tights and shit
Yeah.
and dressing like me, is because that's what their parents are doing.
Yeah.
They want to feel like they're cool.
or that's what their friends. I think at the age of, like, I think they say once kids reached like high school or like 7th or 8th grade, their parents are no longer the main influence in their life. Their friends become the influence in their life, and it's hard for parents at that point, because you're no longer able to influence your kids the same way. You're not the puppet master anymore. Your kids are going to be influenced by the people they spend their time with in school, outside of school, and those things. So at that point, it's like you can't. The trolley's moving. You cannot control the train anymore. It's moving where it's moving. The best you can do is continue to be that guiding hand to help your kids, but you can't control them. And I think a lot of people lose side of parenting when they can no longer control their kids and make all the decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very difficult conversation to have.
I'm glad we had Annie on here to speak for all the gays.
Yeah, all the gays.
Oh,
We're speaking
God.
for all of them.
I've already been yelled
We've
at
decided
on
all the
internet,
rules.
so please.
We've decided all the rules because Annie's here. We now know all the rules for gays.
He's
Trust me, I'm
spokesperson
not.
for all the gays.
Oh God, don't put that on me.
As a spokesperson for all the gays, I do have a video I need to get you guys' opinion on here. But you guys tell me what you guys think about this.
Okay.
Oh my God.
It's time for
I've
Pig to
seen
get
this.
the cups off. It's been 4 hours. He's got things to do today, so can't sit
Miss
around all day
Talon's
sitting in his
cuckold.
tit cups. So here we go.
This guy's removing his breast cups.
Oh, the noise it made.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. This one's worse.
Oh, this one's a tight one. And there's the other one.
Oh my god.
Oh, look at these titties, eh? Look at these titties.
Wow. I've seen this guy.
Yeah, where have you seen him
On
at?
TikTok.
You would know who he is. That's hilarious.
I don't follow him. I've seen him.
So, are we allowed to kink shame this one?
You know, I don't
kink shame.
I don't
I can kink, not agree.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even.
I
Clearly, there's no way those cups made them
See,
that
this
size.
goes back
He's
to my
already-
fucking argument about kinks. Don't fucking bring them in. Don't involve people that didn't ask for it.
That's the truth. I think that's the thing.
Don't involve me in your kink. I don't want that posted. That TikTok is a algorithm, and it will just show up on my page because I like weird shit, and that's gonna show up like it did. I didn't ask for it, so I feel like I have been violated by this.
Like our butt plugs.
Yes.
Genius butt plug.
We have a genius butt plug idea,
my
but we don't
God.
want to talk about that.
You guys get it. Did
Open
you guys?
concept
That
butt
was
plug.
open concept butt plugs. We looked it up and it already exists.
You know, like an open concept butt plug. You know, like where, like you walk into the living room and you can see the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like that kind. You know, what I
Like
mean?
you put it in and you can see the whole rectum.
You know?
So I do have a butt plug story here. Do you guys want to never wear a butt plug to your MRI appointment? My God, greatest personal
Why
injury
the
case.
fuck would they do that?
Greatest personal injury case I've ever heard. Well, listen to it. Chris Goodnow, an estimated Valley attorney, has picked up a client who is suing a sex toy company. Said client purchased a butt plug that was advertised as 100% silicone. Client wears butt plug to MRI appointment. Much to client's dismay, butt plug is in fact a metallic core. Butt plug is accelerated at the speed of sound inside the client's chest cavity, described in memo as an anal rail gun. Client survived with major injuries. So this client was like, oh, I can wear my silicone one to the MRI. It's not metal, which I don't know why you need to wear it at all. But,
I'm just...
live your life, playboy, playgirl, playboy, playgirl. We don't know the gender of the person, but live your life, play person. And play they. Live your life, play they. And play they put it up there, and then come to find out there's a metal core in this, and it gets accelerated into the chest cavity of this
Oh my
human.
God. I'm just sorry. It's like a torpedo butt
It's like...
plug. It's like...
That's a real...
That's what killed Jaws.
So when you guys say open concept butt plug, this one was like, seriously, we need to open up these walls. Let's open up these walls.
God, it's like
We need more room. I'm having guests over.
it's like a really long hallway. Like I wouldn't be able to see your teeth.
But anyway, I was like, we're talking about butt plugs. Let's bring up the butt plugs story. I got a fun butt plug story for us.
Thanks, guys.
God, this
Poor
has gone off
person.
the rails.
Yeah,
Should always have
it
a
has
butt
to.
plug story.
I know.
She said this has gone off the rails. This podcast always goes off the rails.
No, it's fine. I
It's been a very weird week for that reason. Oh my God. So here we go. Let's bring this one up. This will be fun. BioMilk says it has successfully produced world's first cell cultured human breast milk. So they have created breast milk in a lab.
Why?
I don't know.
well, because there's a lot of people who can't
Yeah.
like way their bodies produce
Yeah, you
and
can't
like
lactate.
stuff like
yeah,
that.
but
And you
there's
can't.
that,
And,
isn't that formula?
well, yeah, but like the formula shortage though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, but I think the argument, my issue with it is the whole point of breast milk, or like
It's
the main
natural.
Well, no, the main idea behind breastfeeding your kids is because your kids, like your baby will, the saliva from your baby tells your breast milk what it needs, and then it gives the nutrients from there, and then it can actually so in the first, like, I think this is 6 months or 3 to 6 months of breastfeeding your child, you're actually giving them antibiotics through your own body, like your own antibiotic, and you're actually formulating their gut microbiome based off your own. So if you're taking like lab grown, are they able to like take a sample of the child's saliva in order to create this specifically. To me, it only works if you can tailor make it to your kid. You know what I mean?
Well, you also have people that donate it.
That's what I'm saying. Well, formula
There's
doesn't have
also people that freeze it and donate it, and like you get breast milk from other people.
Yeah, but the point that I'm making is that you want the thing that makes breast milk special is that it's tailor made for your kid based off of their saliva,
right?
Based off their genetic makeup. So if you can't get that, then what's the point of even making fake breast milk or you know?
So like if you're not going to breastfeed, you're not going to get over the counter formula.
Yeah.
What place does this have?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, what's the? I mean, I guess.
Why would you not do a powdered versus a lab grown?
Unless you can get to the point, like I said, where like you can send in your own kid's saliva and then it's tailor made for that kid's DNA.
Or like, that would be so expensive.
It sounds like it sounds very Beyonce rich. Like you know what I mean? It sounds like you'd have to be very rich in order to make this work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that it's just. I don't know, the crisis that there was with formula. I don't have kids, so I don't know.
Is there something wrong with formula? Like, have they found something wrong with formula?
No, but there's a shortage.
There's a lot of filler, too.
There is. And I feel like they have different formulas. And sometimes kids get sick with formulas, and they might need something else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some kids, I've known some babies that have, like an allergy to a certain formula. Yeah. Like, they have to have, like, a sensitive stomach.
My kids have always had to have the sensitive ones.
Yeah. I think it's really harsh on most kids.
Which I've breastfed all my kids, though.
Bulk up a little bit. Stop being so sensitive. I love your kids.
You got some pussy-ass kids.
I do. I got some pussy-ass kids.
I need the sensitive.
I breastfed him, so, like, he should be fine.
Yeah, speaking of, your kids need to harden up, and I saw this picture, and I was like, what the hell is this? Why is there a kid in a military uniform? And then I went and looked up the story, and this kid was 9 years old and ran away from his home and joined the Union Army in the Civil War. And they told this kid, get the fuck out of here. We're not enlisting infants. And he was like, nah, it's okay. So they put him on the drum line. And then by the end of it all, he ended up becoming like a high-ranking officer when he was older in life. Like he started at 9 and was in the military all the way then. So if you think your kid seems like a pussy, this kid makes your kid look like a pussy even more.
Like, my kids won't even go outside.
Yeah, kids are like, oh, there's mosquitoes. I can't do it. And this kid's like,
the sun.
He's like joining a whole war, and I'm like,
He showed up at 9 like, hey, has anybody seen my has anybody seen my rifle?
He fought it's like arriving at prison. He fought the biggest guy.
Yeah, it's like, you go in the prison, you find the biggest guy, and you stick him. You know, that's this kid.
That's what he did.
So he just took on a whole army. Yeah. Could you imagine, like, what was that even about? Like, was he, like, pissed at his mom? He's like, you know what? Like, most kids are like, I want to join the circus. And he's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm joining the union.
I'm joining the Union Army.
Mom. Fuck you, Mom. God. You call me a pussy, I'll show you. His dad was making fun of him for, like, not wanting to bait his own hook or something.
He's like,
I'll show you.
I'll show you to give me the bath and pot last.
He should.
Bath? It's a bath.
The bath and pot. The bath and pot.
It's already lukewarm.
Because they have to share the bath.
You have to share the bath.
I got one more old-timey photo I can bring up here, too. This girl had a genetic disease where her knees buckled the wrong way. And this photograph was taken in 1885 to 1886, showcases Ella Harper. She suffered from that condition, like I said, where her knees buckle. And she joined the circus and reportedly earned $200 per week, which is equivalent to $6,500 in today's currency per week. Wow. So this girl said, you know, fuck it. They called her the camel girl because her knees turned backwards. Go ahead.
I wish I had like a disability I could profit off of.
That's what I'm saying. Like this girl was like, hey, I'm going to take this disability and I'm going to turn it into money. Meanwhile, I can't take my depression and turn it into shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
I got asthma.
Yeah.
I just can't run.
That's all I think. My depression is making everyone around me worried and uncomfortable.
It's fine. It's a superpower.
Yeah. Can I somehow...
I can bring everyone down.
Can I somehow monetize being a burden on my family? Is there a possibility to do this?
Please.
How do I monetize this?
I just keep putting my head between the...
You're like between the plastic vesicles?
Yeah, it's like between two ferns.
Between two firms.
Between
two firms. This one feels a little bigger.
I did want to say, we have a moment of silence for, on this day 7 years ago, Harambe was murdered by the government for helping a lost child. We will never forget. We will never
Harambe were close.
We will never forget. We will never forgive. Rest with the angel, sweet prince. We will avenge you. This is Spike Cohen. I think it's important.
You and Harambe had this bond.
Yeah, me and
I just
Harambe are
remember
close.
that, though.
Yeah?
It did make me... I hated that they had to shoot him. Like
I know. It's horrible.
I felt like it's natural selection. He fell in there for a reason.
Yeah, that kid.
Wasn't he just protecting him?
He was at first, I guess. And then I think the crowd scared him, so that's why he started... I don't know.
He was like, I'm going to kill this fucking kid.
Sorry, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, Annie said natural selection, a child should die. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit. That's horrible.
That's why Annie doesn't have children.
I don't.
Yeah, not yet. You know, who knows?
Well,
Maybe
I don't
one
know
day.
how that's... No.
Maybe one day.
You might have to adopt
In
one.
vitro. In vitro? What do you do in vitro?
No, I don't want to...
No? You're
Jess
like,
has enough
kids?
children in her life.
Nieces and nephews.
I thought you were going to say her
And-
cats. I was going to throw myself off the
No,
cliff.
I'm not. I'm not one of those that like wishes myself
I'm a
Happy
cat
Mother's
mom.
Day.
Yeah.
You
'Cause I have a
should.
cat.
Happy
I
Cat
should.
Mother's Day.
I'm
As
a
much
cat.
as these cats cost, man.
You guys do take your cats to the doctor an awful lot.
I do. We take care of them.
Stop taking care of them.
I
so
take
much.
care
They're
of
just cats.
our cats better than some people take care of their children, though.
You do?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I
head.
get definitely because there are some kids who are abused, so you could easily say that.
So, there you go.
I guess you can make that claim
Yeah.
regardless. Yeah, I will not push back. You guys want to hear the saddest story of the week?
Probably not.
God.
This is the saddest story of the
Are we
week.
gonna cry?
So, California man killed while helping ducks cross
Oh,
the
I
road.
did
Oh,
hear that.
no.
So, moments after being cheered by onlookers, got hit by a car. No. I
Yeah.
know. Isn't that horrible?
It is horrible.
Look at Courtney's face.
And he died?
He died. He saved the
And they have
ducks.
little rubber
He saved
duckies.
the
Imagine,
ducks, yeah.
imagine being
That's
memorialized by the thing that killed you.
Well, no, I mean, they didn't put a car down there.
They should have put little
yeah.
rubber duckies and then a little toy car.
Maybe
Oh, fuck you. All right, Courtney's kicked off the podcast for that. It was just a sad moment of the week, and Courtney turned it into the meanest moment possible.
good job. Proud of you.
Yeah.
All right, happy moment of the week. This is the happy moment of the week. Former California Teacher of the Year accused of sex with 16-year-old. So she was the Teacher of the Year.
She's so good. She just starts sleeping with me.
Former high school
God.
Teacher of the Year has been arrested in California for allegedly having sex with a 16-year-old boy, and authorities said they believe there may be additional victims. Tracy Vanderholst.
Why are teachers fucking their kids now?
Ooh, she's a
Whoa,
math
that was a
teacher.
weird way to say that.
No, she's absolutely correct.
But, I
Like,
mean, yeah,
let me
This
pull
has
this
been
up.
like an ongoing thing.
Oh, has it? I don't know.
At least 6 female teachers were arrested in the span of 2 days this week for having sex with students.
Oh my God.
So there seems to be some type of...
Are the kids just extra hot now? Like, what is going on?
Well,
Yeah.
I think though too, it's women can be just
what
as,
is going on?
but women can be just as predatory
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
men. But
absolutely.
as a society, I know, like, we're
I know.
take it serious. But as a society, though, like you can even see it in comments when it's like you see these stories break, and then there's like men being like, "Oh, I wouldn't care. Like, what a pussy!
Yeah.
You're gonna complain. You're 16 and you're banging your teacher."
Yeah.
Brr, 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 brr.
Remember when we were like 16?
What do you mean? The high fantasy of every boy?
Yeah,
That's really what it
I
is.
That's
feel
what
like
I'm
that's
saying.
that's the thing when you're 16. Like, dudes want to fuck their teachers. Like,
Yeah.
But I
Anything.
think it still
Yeah.
takes it away because
Literally.
they're still in the
Yeah.
teacher's a position of power.
Absolutely.
It's still like, even though it's like quote unquote everyone thinks like a fantasy or
Yeah.
whatever.
the teacher should say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I'm
that's-
just saying, but it's not looked at if it was reversed and it was a male teacher
course.
with a female student, then like, oh, he's terrible, he's a predator, da, da, da. But I'm just saying these women are still predators.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
people are definitely gonna look
Like-
at these. Look at them like high five the student.
Yeah.
I
that's
think
what I'm
I
saying,
think
like,
the
that's-
problem is if it was a male teacher and a female student, you're looking at predator and victim. When it's the female teacher and a male student, you're looking at predator and person who's received the greatest gift of
Yeah.
all time. So like to me, it's like there's no victim. It's a victimless
Yeah.
crime. So I think that's why people get mad. And I'm not saying every situation it's a
Yeah.
victimless crime. This is obviously a generality. Every single one of these women are decently attractive women. Like none of them are super like. It's like they're all decently cute. Like. I mean, even the one on the bottom who seems very mad and who's ginger. I mean, even if she's
She looks
ginger.
like
Mad
a
Ginger?
Wish version of what's her name?
Pearl?
Laura Pepron.
It looks
the
like
one
Pearl.
from who?
Just pearly things. You guys don't know who that is. It's a
Oh.
very like Meninist MRA girl. She's like the Andrew Tate female.
Oh God.
Her name's Pearl. Just pearly things is her thing. But she's like she was a European basketball player. And her dad's like a rich man, and she's like now she has her own podcast, and she's like on that manosphere.
I think I've seen that.
Pearl, just pearly things. But that's what it looks like. But anyway, these women in general, I don't think they're. I mean, they're not the hottest women in the world, but they're still attractive. I think.
But those are also their mugshots.
I know. It's not like their best, but I think that's the more likely to look like what they actually look like, though. If we're being real, you know what I mean. Sorry, they didn't use their Snapchat filter ones with the cat ears.
Next time, can they try?
The girl in the bottom left, like the two girls on the left, I think they can. They absolutely. They did nothing wrong. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh my God.
God. No, but it's like that's what's. I don't know. This is just so weird because I don't understand. Like, why would you?
It's like trying to speak on behalf of trans people when we're not trans. It's the same thing. Like, I think women can't speak on this because you guys have never been in this position.
I've never been attracted to a 16-year-old child.
No.
No. But I mean, at the same time, this goes back to our previous conversation, which is like, what age can you make decisions? You know what I mean? What age can you make these decisions? Because like as a society, I think we're coming to the point where we decided, 100 years ago, 18, you're an adult at 18, but now we're saying, well, you're an adult at 18, but you can't do this until 21. And we're starting to create like almost like a step process. Like you could, like baby, like you get your training wheels at 18 as an adult, but then at 21, you're officially an adult. So I'm like, what age should kids get their sexual training wheels? Like, we admit as a society that 16-year-olds are usually fucking, right? I mean, we all can pretty much guarantee that.
With other 16-year-olds, not their 36-year-old teacher.
And I do think you're right. It is a position of, like, they are in a position of power over these students, but I think the power gets subverted once the guy has sex with the kid. I think it's not about power at that point. For the kid, they're thinking they're in a position of power at that point, right?
I mean, they're probably thinking like, "Oh my God, I'm so cool! I'm banging my teacher."
Exactly. They
don't see it as predatory.
I just don't think I'd look at a 16-year-old and be like, I want to have sex with that.
But you also aren't in a powerless, like when you're a female teacher in a school full of nothing. This is a joke that I don't know if you guys, we were talking about earlier about Matt Healy, and it reminded me a lot of Shane Gillis. I don't know if you guys remember Shane Gillis, but he was he became a cast member on SNL, and in the same week he was announced as a cast member, he was removed for making comments on a podcast about Asians that they deemed to be offensive. But what he was saying, like the context was key. What he was saying is he was talking shit about old racists and about how they're like, we'll just throw all the Asians over. It's like, what? They're like, the question was, why is there a Chinatown in every big city? Why is there like, here's a section specifically for Asians? And his joke was, just put and he said the Asian slur around, put them over here, like doing old school.
Okay. Yeah.
Like he's basically making fun of racism by making a racist comment that they would have made, and then people took that out of context, and then he got removed. And that's what I feel like has happened to Matt Healy. But on that podcast, they're always talking about how like they could never be teachers in school. Like I could never be a coach or a teacher because his dad coaches female basketball, and he's like, I could never fucking do that. And he's like, I know that I would be like, she's an angel, she's beautiful, she's gonna be beautiful, a beautiful woman, I can't be around that. So they're like saying, I personally wouldn't be able to handle that. I think a lot of this is what's happening with these women. These are probably women who maybe didn't grow up having the pick of the guys that they liked, maybe settled a lot, and then they get to school, and now the hottest guy in school likes me.
Hitting him.
So they still have that child mentality.
It's to me, it's like a power thing, but it's less about power and more like, opportunity finally. I never had this when I was younger. I don't have this now.
Kind of like when parents live through their kids. I don't know if that's a great example, but like, I was never the track star, so now I'm going to push you, and you're going to be whatever, and you're going to do the thing. Yeah,
that's smart. Or like the movie Never Been Kissed is literally this story.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that like?
Did you read that thing about the plot of that though?
No, tell me.
So it never even occurred
I love that
to
movie,
me.
By the way.
Yeah, but the whole thing is that she goes and she's never been kissed, so she's a journalist, right? And she goes back to high school and and then she's starting to whatever with this teacher, but then the teacher's pissed to find out she's not a high school student.
Oh yeah, he's so
mad that she's not a high school student. He's mad that she's an adult.
Yeah.
And that never dawned on me until I saw some article about it.
I don't agree. I don't think he's mad that she's not a high school student. I think he's mad that he was like personally conflicted this whole time. Like, why am I so into this girl and she's a high school student? She kind of made him feel like he was a predator when he wasn't.
Oh,
does that make sense? Like this whole time, I saw something in her that I didn't realize. That the thing that I saw in her is that she's a matured adult. and these others. It's not like he was trying to fuck every girl.
Yeah,
he wasn't interested.
and she really
he wasn't,
was a mature
and he
adult.
wasn't interested in the hottest girl in school. He was interested in this girl that had this different mentality where he's like, she's not like other girls. You know, that's
not like
every,
other girls.
I'm not like other girls. I'm just Drew Barrymore. I'm not like other girls.
I love Drew Barrymore.
I do. She's a little weird now. Her
wild.
shit on her
I
TV show
love
now is
her.
insane. I think the drugs have gotten caught up to her.
I love that. I feel like that's exactly how I'm gonna be when I grow up. Is like Drew Barrymore.
Unhinged.
Sitting on the
Oh,
floor.
absolutely.
Sitting on the floor. That Dylan Mulvaney, did you see her
But she
interview
does that with
Dylan?
a lot of guests.
That was so weird though. It's
The
like,
sitting on the floor
sitting
thing?
below. I'm like, you're such an like. I feel like it's such white women.
It
like-
would make me uncomfortable because I don't want anyone to be like that to me.
Yeah.
Like I get like the even keel
Yeah,
type
yeah.
situation because I know she sat on the floor with like
Yeah.
other guests.
Yeah.
But like I'm not going to like pray.
Like if you came in here and I just moved this out of the way and was like, "You're such an inspiration
The
for
most-
being a lesbian queen," and like you would feel so uncomfortable. And I feel like it's the same thing that Drew
Yeah.
did. And Drew's a huge celebrity. Drew's been a celebrity since like
She was born?
a baby. Yeah, like from the beginning. Like E.T. is like literally
when she like
it.
6.
Yeah, like something
Was
like
that her? Weren't her parents famous too?
Yeah, yeah. She has famous
She's
parents. and-
partying at like Studio 54 at like
Yeah.
14 doing coke
What was her
and shit.
dad's name? Something. I mean,
don't
obviously
know.
it's Barrymore, but my mom used to tell me about it because my mom was always a huge fan of Drew Barrymore. Because like, what's the Ever After, Never Been Kissed? My mom loved all those movies. But Never Been Kissed, I actually read recently that like that final scene where they're in and they have to make out on the field.
Okay, yeah.
Where he comes out late or whatever. The guy that played opposite Drew Barrymore in that did not realize she was going to kiss him like she did, and I guess like he ended up cutting himself because he had an erection. She came up and he didn't think she was going to kiss him like she kissed him. Like she kissed him like passionately,
on.
and he was like, "Well, I'm sorry, there's the pleating on the pants. It's the pants. It's not me. I promise.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
I don't act like you're not impressed." Yeah, but he basically like just popped a huge boner on set.
That's what I always think about movies and like how do you do that?
Yeah, that's
Sex
a really good
scenes
question.
and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah, like how do you
Well, there's a bunch
maintain?
of people.
see that's why you need the target things.
Yeah.
That's why you need the
You got to tuck.
Tuck
No, that's why
things.
you got the little like the little.
But isn't that what it is? Don't they tuck it so they don't?
No, they tuck it so you can't see it.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about movies. Don't they tuck it so you don't get hard?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
I think there are ways. He was a brand new actor in that. He had never really been in anything big, and he was starring, opposite Drew Barrymore in this, film. Didn't realize he was going to end up. Which John C. Reilly's in that movie too. So
Is he?
plays the editor of the newspaper, right? He's her boss in it. That movie has a lot of people in it. It's not,
Well,
it's
yeah,
got
they're
a-
called actors.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my god! Oh my god! This whole time.
This whole
There's
giant
actors
production
in
has a
this
lot of
movie?
people in it.
Oh my god! No, I mean like there's a lot of like big names. you
Yeah,
know? Don't be freaking rude. Don't be
Listen,
rude, Annie.
I'm
Don't come
going
on.
to.
Don't come on the podcast and be mean.
Totally Jordan Rest.
That's all everybody ever wants to do. So since you guys are being mean to me, I might look into this. Did you guys see this went viral this week? My grandmother has chosen euthanasia after her terminal diagnosis, so this is the last time I can take her out to dinner.
I didn't read about it. I heard a little bit, whatever, but I'm so pro
Euthanasia.
euthanasia.
Yeah. What about the
Absolutely.
fact that they're now prescribing euthanasia to homeless people because they're homeless?
That's terrible.
Yeah, that to me is like
That's
it's like they're
awful.
going too far.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're cool with it.
Yeah.
That's
This-
Feels very Nazi.
But isn't it a little?
Whoa!
Isn't it a little?
like that's like kill off the people that we don't need around.
Well, yeah.
Exactly. It feels a
Yeah.
little bit like
It feels-
less like euthanasia and more like what's the
Yeah.
other one?
Gas chambers.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's fix that mic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. You keep moving away from it. No, like what's
I
the
move a lot.
what do they call it when it's like it's another euthanasia. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like where you're trying to kill off an entire group of people, which is like literally what it feels
Oh.
like sometimes. Like
God, it's gonna drive me nuts
I know it's
now.
gonna drive me crazy too, but we'll get away from it. It'll come back in. But anyway, this girl has gone viral this week because she decided to do this as a TikTok series. Like, here's me and my grandma, and my grandma's chosen to die.
That's
I
like,
hate
that's like
those
when people
things.
introduce their pets on Facebook, and then the next post is them being dead, and then it just pisses me off.
Yeah,
Like,
It's
don't introduce me to your pet, and then
it's
not make another post about them until they die.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's weird, though. Like, all of this stuff, that's very strange to me. But TikTok and, like, reaction videos, because I was reading this whatever article.
Yeah.
And it was, like, reaction to so-and-so's report card. It's, like, a third grader, like, sitting, like, here, and the mom was, like, with the report card. And I'm like,
Yeah.
That's weird. Like, let's not scar our children. Like, why does everything have to be a reaction video? Like, why does it have to be, like, for the views?
Why can't I
like, enjoy taking your grandma out because you're not going to have the chance.
Exactly.
Not because, you need 1,000 likes on
Not
TikTok.
because your grandma chose something that's weird.
Yeah,
different.
A new thing. And this is Canada, by the way. I think there's a big push for this in Oregon as well. I think they're doing it out there, and it's becoming a huge issue, like, federally, because they're, like, trying to make... Because it's like weed in Colorado. Like, it's illegal in Colorado, but it's federally illegal. So it's the same thing with euthanasia, I think, it's either becoming legal or it's about to be... It's on the ballot in Oregon where they're going to allow people to decide if they want to die. Well, if you're from Indiana... You can just drive to Oregon and do it. You know what I mean? And and a lot of people might say is there's an ethical problem there because it's interstate travel. It's the same thing with, like...
But is there regulations with it though? Like,
there has to be.
Like, I mean, with like going over
be, like,
or whatever.
A terminal patient, I'm
yeah,
sure.
like you can't just go and like.
There are state well, that's where the argument comes in. Like, how many steps should you have between deciding you want to kill yourself and, like, what if you're having a bad week and you decide
and they give like when you get an abortion, like where they like bring you in, make you watch videos and make you like learn about the baby, like hear the heartbeat, like
there's got to be something. Like, you can't just go, I'd want one suicide pill, please. Like,
hello, I'd like one suicide, please.
They have them at CVS with the Plan Bs.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's
oh my God, we accidentally sent out the Big Mac with the suicide pill in it. You didn't order that one? Oh no, like, somebody get the antidote. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do there?
Is there an antidote? There should be an antidote to it too. So when
they put you to sleep and then they kill you. To me, it seems weird because we're having issues like killing people, like the capital punishment. Like, we have an issue with, like, the death penalty, killing people, but then we're like, hey,
those people don't want to die though.
They're not. I don't think they get the choice if they kill people though. Right. I don't think you should have that choice.
I think
at the point.
that's capital punishment's a lot different.
But I'm saying they're having issues with getting the proper drugs.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you meant
people are.
Sorry, I didn't go all the way through.
No,
I didn't get through because I started thinking about other things. Like, hold on, wait a minute.
Okay, that makes sense.
No, but this whole situation, people were upset because it felt like they were kind of glorifying her chosen decision, and they thought that the way in which this girl presented her death felt a little bit like I need followers, so let me get some followers by my grandma killing herself.
I'm sure it worked.
But also, the flip side of that coin is it does inform people of, informed consensual euthanasia. Because that's this. If you watch the whole series, which I went and watched a couple of videos because I was like, I need to at least know what I'm talking about if I'm going to bring this up here. Because I get called out all the time by you guys for just posting a headline. I just like, here's a headline. I don't fucking care. But anyway, I went and watched the videos, and the lady is very articulate. The lady, the grandmother who's chosen to go through euthanasia, very articulate about what she's doing and her plans and what she expects. And so it's not like a split decision. But let's say, okay, you might actually have insight on this. Sorry, this isn't a shot at you, but we've both been divorced before. Mm-hmm. When you file for divorce, there's a grace period. It's like 45 days, 60 days, 30 days, something like that. I can't remember. It's been a while for me. To me, should they have that same rule with euthanasia where you have a 45-minute back out at any time before you can actually decide to kill yourself? Because I think you do need time.
Well, I'm sure that they do.
Yeah.
Do they not?
I don't know.
I don't know the details of.
Well, that's the thing about it being federally illegal.
I feel like this would be a good chance for her to like let people know like the steps that she went through to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think
it's
Canada. It's too late now, right? Is she's still alive? Is she not?
I think she's either still alive now or she's getting ready to. She's gone now.
Because like that's. There's so many questions.
Yeah.
So like, do you just get this terminal? I don't know. It's scary because you get a terminal diagnosis and it not be accurate.
Yeah. There's so many things.
But yeah, so like at that point too, so if you do it, do you wait until like you, because the whole point of the euthanasia is to not be in pain, right? To not have a painful death. Yeah. So like, is there like a line or like you look like you're just a walking upright, not sick person?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Until you're
thank you. I was like, I know I'm gonna can't
but that's all. I think
like you're just like walking in, like like we were making a joke, but like, or do you have to wait till you're at a certain point in your diagnosis to make sure you're actually terminal?
I think you don't even have to have a terminal illness.
You just get to choose.
You can just decide to die.
Oh. I think so. Like if you're not happy, you can just go in and be like, hey, I'm very clinically depressed. I don't want to be alive anymore.
Yeah.
I think there's probably really, really weird rules around depression because you're not thinking.
There has to be.
Yeah. Like I mean, I think. That's what I'm saying. I don't think I can go in and be.
But who decides these steps, and are they being properly? Because it's the same argument that I always my biggest problem with anytime you put the people who make the profit off of the thing in charge of deciding if you can have the thing, it's a problem. It's the same problem I have with like the when they're talking about medically transitioning children at a young age, like they make money off of that. So it's like hard for me to be like, oh, I trust this doctor who's making money to make the decision based off of what's right for the kid and not what's right for their pocketbooks. Because at the end of the day, if there's a profit incentive, I'm frustrated by it. And I think it's the same with this. Like if you're a doctor and you're going through the evaluation of a person who's getting euthanized, and you make, let's say ballpark, you make $25,000 for every euthanization. At what point do you make the decision based off money? Like to me, like humans are humans. Humans are humans.
Like we're good. They're going to encourage it.
And that's my fear with these types of things. Not that they're not going to provide a really important. This seems important to me. I think if you're terminally ill and you're afraid that you're just going to waste away and then be on a fucking ventilator, like we have DNRs for a reason, do not resuscitate for a reason. I think you should be able to choose when you're ready to go, when you're at that point. But
we put dogs and cats down when they're sick. We should be able to do it to people too. Just drive through and just like, Mom, you're getting really mouthy.
Just don't post it after like 6 years after you post a picture of it. See, you're frustrated by people who post like, I have a new cat, and then 12 years later they're like, my cat died. You're frustrated by that. Yeah. But what I'm frustrated about is I have a new cat, and then 6 months later they're like, does anybody want a cat? Like that's what frustrating. That's annoying.
That's me though.
Yeah, you're like that.
I'm sorry, I don't like dogs.
I know. Quit having them.
She doesn't
think.
I know.
That I was gonna have to take care of it.
Yes. She didn't think.
I didn't know that.
I didn't think. That's where it stopped.
Good.
Yeah, you didn't have to say I didn't.
I.
Yeah, that's you. It's your problem.
No, that frustrates me too. I don't know.
But you saw him. He was bad. I couldn't do that.
He was bad.
I don't think he was bad. I just think he was too big.
He was too big.
Too big of a dog.
You're like 4'11" or something.
Yeah.
It's not even a...
Did you guys see this? Michigan. You see, guys, see how backwards Michigan is. Michigan woman charged with caring for wildlife without permit. Animals killed by state officials.
What? See, that's what I'm saying. Like stuff like that, I don't understand.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
They killed the animals because she was saving them without a permit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She was caring for wildlife without a permit, so they were like, "All right, I guess we'll just kill them." That makes no sense.
No, why?
Like, who decides these things? This is why like these weird laws make no sense to me. Like, why? I realize that she's not legally allowed to do it, but like, let her get the permit. Don't just kill the animals.
Yeah. But what's killing them, dude? Like, why were they like too domesticated and not like?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they.
Were they causing a nuisance? Did they stink? Were they what were they doing?
Yeah. Or the state just
there's a animal sanctuary on Facebook or on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I followed them for a minute where the city was trying to get them to get rid of their animals. Like they give you enough time to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And to find them new homes and stuff, because you're not allowed to have an animal over the certain weight in town, or you're not allowed to have this many pigs or this many this. So they were trying to buy money to get a bigger land.
Yeah.
So they could have the animals in their sanctuary, because the city was trying to get them to get the permits.
Yeah.
And fixing it. So I'm sure she had enough time to like.
I don't know, man.
But maybe, you know.
I don't know. Even then, like, if it's wildlife, just you got to go out there. If it dies, it dies. Like, or at least I feel like it feels more like they're like, hey, you have to get rid of that, and then she got rid of it, and they kept coming back because they wanted to be around her, and then they're like, oh well, if they're gonna keep coming back, and you don't have a permit, we're gonna kill it.
Right.
That's what it seems more like to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless it was like suffering, I don't get why they had to kill it.
Exactly.
Just let her have it.
Like, let her have the fucking alpaca or whatever.
Was it just the one animal? Or was it a bunch of them?
What did she have?
Yeah. I didn't. This is one of the ones I just pulled the headline off.
We always do this.
All the time. I remember talking about Matty Healy, and I'm like, I didn't listen to the podcast.
Yeah, like, I don't. Well, he went on that podcast because he's a fan of Cumtown and was like, I like these guys. They're fun to goof around with, and so then he goes on there and makes a couple of jokes, and people get upfatted. I'm upfatted.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes. Like I said, it's the.
Oh, this is interesting. Yeah. This is an interesting story. So, a 2-year-old toddler in North Korea has been jailed for life after the kid's parents were found with a Bible. So, toddler in North Korea has been jailed for life. So they're
It's North Korea.
Yeah, I mean,
Obvious. Duh.
Oh, so it's okay. Never mind.
No, it's not okay.
It's
but-
North Korea.
It's okay.
Are we
It's North Korea.
surprised?
No,
Yeah, I
it's
think
the
that's
way they do things
A
there.
toddler
Man. A 2-year-old.
jailed?
A 2-year-old toddler is not just jailed
life?
for life, for the
But why
rest
is
of its
the
life.
kid in trouble for what the parents like? Is
That's
that
the way they
parents'
do things there.
punishment?
The dishonor happens it's like 3 or 4
It's their
generations.
whole
deep.
family, right?
If one person does something, you jeopardize. That's why it's so weird there, because like if one person does something
the 2-year-old get to
dissonant,
stay with his mom? I'm so sad now.
yeah, crazy,
That's
right? You asked to see it.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't. I was gonna pull it up. You're the one that
That's
wanted
so
to see
sad.
it. Just a story. I every once in a while I feel like people need to see things like this to understand that like just because you have freedoms in this country doesn't mean you have freedoms everywhere. Like we are way more free and open as a society than anywhere else. And this is another story along that lines. Brittany Griner, I definitely want to stand. Brittany Griner sees U.S. flag and anthem differently after Russian imprisonment. So she came out and said that she's not kneeling anymore she wouldn't kneel anymore for the national anthem and the flag because it means so much more to her personally now than it did before she was imprisoned in another country. So it's like one of those things where it's like, at what point do you realize what the world is versus what we have? Because we're always really critical of where we live. This is Memorial. This is coming out Memorial Day, and Memorial Day is the day that we recognize service members and like people who have died in your life, and then service members who have paid the ultimate price for freedom. And it's one of those things that a lot of people we take for granted here because we grow up. We were born into this the most free place on the world. We have the most multicultural country in the entire world. We have things that China would never have, Russia would never have. We have a society that was never built before like this. And
school shootings.
Yeah, and school shootings are part of it.
We've got so many. No other countries have those but us.
Yeah, because we have a different relationship with guns in other countries. The way we were founded as a country, we were created by the gun. Compared to most countries, weren't created by the gun. They were created by monarchies and fucking warlords. Like that's not how this country was created.
But they were created with muskets, not AK-47s or whatever.
Yeah, and the First Amendment right to freedom of speech was created on not even typewriters and not even not even the Gutenberg press. I think maybe barely existed at that point if it even did. So rights evolve, but they don't change, and I think that's where. So here's a fun thing we're going to talk about. We're going to bring guns up. Between 2014 and 2021, there were 204 active shooting incidents carried out in areas that allowed people to carry firearms. 104 of them were thwarted by an armed citizen, meaning 51% of attacks were thwarted by people legally carrying concealed handguns. So that's a good. We had that issue at the mall in Indianapolis, where a gunman walked in, fired, and then another guy who was concealed carrying shot the unarmed person and put him down. They were both brought guns into a place they weren't legally supposed to have guns. But at the end of this specific situation, the good guy with the gun beat the bad guy with the gun, which is kind of like what the argument is a lot. So in the last 7 years, 8 years, or whatever that is there. I'm not very good with math. 7 years. In the last 7 years, not including 2022 and 2023, because they didn't have the statistics yet. Over half were thwarted in areas that you're allowed to have a gun. Were thwarted by people with guns, concealed carry. So the question there is, obviously, we have a weird culture in America of guns. It's not going away. There's no possible way to take away the guns of American citizens and for it to work. This is in Australia. We're a whole different country. It's so ingrained in every part of who we are as a people. And the people that don't understand it think it's stupid. And the people that do understand it don't understand how you can think it's stupid. So from your perspective, what are you thinking as far as what would you do? You are the ultimate supreme ruler of the United States. What do you do about the gun problem?
Oh, God. I think...
That's what I do.
Like that one cartoon guy.
What's his name?
I can't even think. I'm not against guns.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I think that there needs to be more mental health.
Of course,
mental health, screenings. The person that went to the elementary school, that Christian school in Nashville, was able to buy. Was it that person? Someone was able to buy a bunch of guns within that week that they did the shooting. Yeah. And there should be some kind of waiting, you know what I mean? Waiting period, mental health, something like that. I personally don't think someone's all guns in the basket. Come on, no one can have anything.
Yeah.
I do stand I'm on the side of no one needs like an AR rifle. Nobody needs a rifle that you use for war.
Nobody uses that for war, so that's...
Oh, they don't? Okay, that's what I always thought. Okay. I've never been. Yeah, I'm not a...
let me make it clear. A lot of people, like, have you owned a gun? Do you own guns? I own guns.
I mean, yeah, if anyone's listening to this,
I got two right here, dude. I got two right here, bro. No, I have a concealed carry permit. I own a Glock 19 for my concealed carry if I want to bring it around. And I went and got it before they made it legal. This is the state of Indiana is now a constitutional carry state, so anybody who is legally allowed to own a gun can carry concealed now, whereas before you had to have a license for it, registered, and I actually have that. I did that before and paid the money. It was great. Now that everybody gets to do it for free, I paid money for it. It was awesome. And then I have an AR-15. AR-15s are semi-automatic rifles. They are not used in war at all. Used in wars are like M16s. M16s are literally fully automatic.
So is that the difference? I mean, I'm the first to admit things too.
No, you're right.
I'm a little gun ignorant. I don't know.
A lot of people are, and you hear things, and you're like, well, obviously it's a weapon of war, and I'm like, it's not. It just looks scary. It's the same as like a regular rifle.
But what would you have it for in a house?
In a house?
Like, why? What would you own it for?
Like, is that really protection? Like,
is it just protection?
Well, isn't it easier to grab like your little handgun versus like this giant like?
Depends.
Thing?
What are they? Well, okay. So it's all scenario based. So this is all scenario based. So the reason you would have an AR-15, like first off, an AR-15 is no different than any other like hunting rifle. It just looks scarier. It's just black and looks scarier.
So can people use it for hunting?
Yeah, you could. You wouldn't, because it'd be weird, because they're not like the way they're created. They're not created to be used for hunting. Unless you're doing like hunting to eat. So let's say you like were going out to create
like a bird keeps shitting on your car, so you're like,
no, you would never shoot a fucking bird with an AR-15. There
would be a bird last,
right? Yeah, if you put a 314, through a bird, and you're not gonna have a bird anymore. You're gonna have a bird splatter, and then it's gonna be a gunshot through somebody's car.
Oh God!
No, like an AR-15. I guess the best. First off, you can have it for recreation, obviously, like to shoot because you want to shoot guns and it's fun. But also, I think the main thing that you would use it for, like, let's say, like, our militia is the biggest argument, which would be like if there's something happens, your town gets on lockdown and people are at your door about to kill you, and you have plenty of time to grab it. That's the gun I would grab. You're more accurate with it than a handgun, and you can get multiple people if they're trying to like advance on you. Now, a handgun is better in to conceal, so that's why it would be a better option, and it's easier to grab. Like if you're asleep at night and somebody breaks in, a handgun's the right thing to have. Unless they have an AR, then you want to have an AR. You know what I mean? It's like kind of comes down to that type of situation. But I think with an AR, the main reason people like to have ARs is because they're fun to shoot. And if there was like a mass issue in this country, which we act like in America, we are immune from anything that could ever happen with a government or with a group of militia people. Like, we act like nothing could ever happen to us. Like, we've always lived like this. It's been perfect forever. And, you know, a lot of places, it's not real. It's not a real way to live.
Yeah, like monarchy's been overthrown.
Yeah, like monarchies, governments, like even like democracies have been overthrown. Yeah. Like recently. It's happened. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's weird to me as a country. Like, we are a country founded on guns because the first thing we ever did to become a country was go to war. And so we had to have what we had at the time. And guns have evolved, which is kind of like your argument with the musket. And I understand that argument, but it's like, we have to take it in context of everything. Like, if we have a Bill of Rights that says you have freedom of speech, and then speech has evolved to the fact that now I can go online and literally write anything about you. You know what I mean? At any time. And you're still protected to do it unless you're inciting violence or inciting riots. So, like, to me, freedom of speech evolves with the methods, and so does your right to bear arms, in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, we outlawed automatics. That happened. I think Reagan did that, actually. So a Republican president actually is the one that outlawed automatic guns. So you're no longer allowed to just pull the trigger, hold it down, and it keeps shooting. You can't do that anymore.
It does burst though, right? Like the
ones
with the mass shootings.
So the ones you use with an AR, you have to. It's more than one. You have to keep pressing. You can't just hold it down. And I know that seems stupid, but it's way easier to do this than it is to go. Because you have to choose where you're shooting it. If you're just holding it down, you can literally just point in directions and just spray shit. You can't do that with an AR. Not unless you have like, that's why they outlawed, I think it was it Trump or Biden? I think it was Trump that outlawed bump stocks. It's fun. It's always funny how people are always bringing up like Republicans love guns and Democrats don't, but all the major gun laws have happened under Republicans, which is insane. Isn't that kind of crazy?
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, Reagan outlawed automatic weapons and Trump outlawed bump stocks. And it's basically like modifying your gun to be able to shoot like a
I agree with her though.
Yeah, nobody needs AR.
No, I don't care what guns you have.
Yeah.
But I think it should be
so
regulated
easy.
to where like it shouldn't be like if you have a lot of mental health issues and stuff, you should.
There should be more of a process.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like picking up milk from the store.
In the
think it
state
should
of
be
Indiana, in the state of Indiana, let's say you have an AR or you have a handgun. In the state of Indiana, I could call the cops and say, I think Cortni is a danger to herself and the people who surround her. And in the state of Indiana, cops can show up to your house and just take your guns.
Oh, I know.
Just from me saying that. So they're called red flag laws.
But I think it's like maybe not the mental health stuff so much, but like I feel like before you buy a gun, you should have to take like a gun class. And you should be educated on the guns, like, and maybe like have a certificate say you passed this course, and then you can keep buying, so you don't have to keep taking the course. Like, I don't know, educate people on their guns, because there's a lot of people that had like they get shot because they're doing something and they shoot themselves.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
more
feel like there
people-
should be more education on guns.
Yeah, we as a society in America, we are obsessed with the concept of mass shootings. But the reality is more people die every year by suicide with gun than they do by a mass shooting by far. It's like the majority by far.
And not necessarily
looking
even
at places,
suicide,
though.
like just accidents.
No, I'm talking about suicides.
Really?
Specifically, yeah. Methods of killing yourself. People are going to kill themselves regardless. They'll just find a new way.
Yeah.
Guns are just easy and fast.
It's like the gas stove thing. You guys remember that? Like the England with the people used to put their head in the stove to kill themselves.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden when they outlawed those types of stoves, people didn't kill themselves that way anymore. They just found a new way. Like it's like people will
They're
find
gonna
a
find
way.
a new way, yeah.
Nature finds a way.
Oh God.
I'm not okay. I'm gonna sound like an asshole.
No, go ahead. Say what you got to say.
We don't have assisted suicide like they do.
Not everywhere.
Everywhere.
Portland, I think, is either just legalized or it's becoming legal.
So I feel like that it like correlates. Like if we had the assisted suicide and you were able to go through that, maybe people wouldn't use the guns to kill themselves anymore. Like,
Yeah.
Or if we just
as
had
much.
better mental health overall.
Yeah.
Period. I think that's what a lot of it
I mean,
is.
people are always going to kill themselves.
People are always going to kill themselves, but I think there's like, again, it just goes back to mental health. And, you know, we can even go back even further, like not go back even further, but like the person in Nashville, I believe they were trans.
Yeah, it was trans.
Right. And I don't know the whole everything story with that because.
I think there's been 2 in the past couple months that were trans.
Well, I don't know like the transition, like if
Yeah.
like there, but I'm just saying off of that, like we offered more mental health care and more like, you know, like stuff like maybe this wouldn't happen. Maybe that person didn't feel like they had to
there's some
attack their Christian school because, and I don't know if they did it because of whatever.
Yeah,
but
they won't release the manifesto, which
Yeah.
is a big deal. I think that's a red
it's
flag for
supposed to
me.
be really,
Well-
it's supposed to be very intense.
Well, I mean, isn't that
Whatever.
what they wanted? Wouldn't that be giving them what they wanted?
Well, they're dead, so it doesn't matter what the fuck they wanted.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if they've released the manifesto of almost every other shooter in the history of shootings, and then the argument here is a lot of people feel like they're protecting the trans person.
But I mean,
manifesto,
I
which
don't.
seems weird.
I don't feel like it should be released because I feel like it is going to give people who are against and don't understand trans people more.
I don't think that's a
Same.
reason to not release it, though. I think that's that to me would be the opposite. That if you're reasoning, that's like almost discrimination in a way. It's like my reasoning for not releasing this is because they're trans. I don't think it's fair to target all trans people. But if it's a white dude, it's like, oh, it's okay. He's a white dude. It's okay. We can target them. To me, that begs a lot more questions than it answers any questions. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's fine. That's just how I.
I mean, you can feel how you feel. I'm not saying you can't feel that.
No.
obviously.
Damn right, you're not.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
not. I would never say that. No, I think it's weird to say we're going to protect this trans person's manifesto,
think
but
we've
not
had this talk.
anybody else. You know what I mean?
We've had this talk where that trans person that was, it was like the doctor or something.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I don't know
We
what you're talking
talked about it on here.
about. Yeah, I believe you. I just
was
don't remember
like-
what you're talking about.
I don't know.
I don't
Remember the scenario.
I don't remember.
I don't think any manifesto should be released. Honestly.
See,
either.
that's cool. I mean, to me, that makes more sense than saying
Stop giving
this
them,
particular
like-
person
Yeah, I
because
mean,
of their identity.
I think that's why I assume that's why because trans you don't want more like people already hate trans individuals. You don't want to automatically be like, oh, you're shooting places.
Who hates trans individuals?
I mean, Fox News. I don't know whoever those people are.
My big thing in there is I'm always confused about this, and I don't mean this in like a rude way, and I don't mean this in any way. You can say gay, we don't have to say trans, we can say LGBTQ, pride, whatever. All these corporations are so pro, and if they were losing money and like it was a problem in society, they wouldn't be pro, because all corporations care about is their bottom line and their stockholders. So like my issue here is like the corporatization of pride, the corporatization of gay, the corporatization of LGBTQ plus A plus I plus, is it feels very much like who are the boogeymen, other than you've got, like I said, there's the loud minority of people that hate everything that isn't themselves. Like we all agree they exist on both sides. I know people who are anti-heterosexuals because they're like, I just don't like heterosexual people. I'm like, cool, that's fine. You don't have to like them.
Yeah.
You don't have to like anybody.
Anti-heterosexual.
You see what I mean?
I just really fucking hate you.
I knew it. I'm not heterosexual. I'm pan.
I'm anti-Jordan. Oh yeah.
I'm pan. I told you this a long time ago.
Are you saying pan or
I'm
pan?
Peter.
Pan or pan?
Peter. My Peter is pan. My Peter is pan.
Pan? Peter Pan?
Wendy. I'm just kidding. Have you guys watched the new Pan series on Disney? Who would?
It's a series?
Yeah, it's a series.
I've never been a Peter Pan fan.
I don't like the...
It's hard to say.
It's not... It doesn't appeal to me.
It
like
feels...
the concept like of never growing up.
Yeah.
Too late for me.
Did you know the real story of Peter Pan though? Like it's really dark and like...
Yeah,
they
do
kill
it.
kids?
Tell us.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm on a
they kill-
podcast. I'm a terrible storyteller.
Do they kill kids?
But that's
Probably
like the whole thing was like the Peter Pan, like, well, I don't know if he didn't have friends or something like that, but it was that, like, and he killed these people to always be his friend, like these other kids or like whatever. Like that's, I don't remember the whole story, but that's the gist of it.
Sounds like something.
Sounds like something.
Sounds like something.
Sounds like something.
It sounds... It checks out.
It definitely makes a sound.
It absolutely checks
But no,
out.
it's something like that. Like I don't know if he didn't have friends, he was lonely and like these people, so like he basically murdered these children and they were like his eternal friends forever.
You will be with me forever,
Most
kids.
fairy tales are
really puts in
scary.
perspective that fucking song, the Off to Peter Pan and Neverland. You know what I'm talking about? That fucking, it was a huge song
That
for a
stupid
minute.
song that everybody was singing.
Do you know what's a really creepy song? And I forgot about it.
What?
Okay, it's called "It's Me Again, Margaret" by Ray Stevens.
It's me again, Margaret. Isn't that like from like a column? Like, it's me again, Margaret.
No, it's like this. Well, maybe, but the song
It's
is
a
about this
children's book.
guy who
okay.
like calls. Yeah, that it is. But it calls like this lady repeatedly. He's like, "It's me again, Margaret," and like he's like stalking her, and like it's you have to listen to it.
Oh God.
It's really creepy.
So it's basically like white people's Eminem Stan, another version of that.
Well, is it Stan?
My tea's gonna go.
Isn't
away.
Stan
Stan
white
people's?
I know, it's
That's what I was like, I don't.
It's a white people.
Well, it's hip hop, so you know.
So it's like like folk singers Stan.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of folky.
Well, isn't that like in there that song by not by Elton John, by Phil Collins about, isn't it the same thing about a stalker fan?
What?
I don't know what song
In the
it
air
is.
of the night.
No, that's what him watching someone get hurt and not helping them. Like he was watching someone drown, and he didn't help them. That's
Yeah.
what that's about.
But isn't that about an obsessive fan?
Oh, I don't know.
There's another. There's plenty of them. Like a lot of old songs that you don't really know the meanings of.
Yeah.
And then you're like, ooh, this is a bop. And then you're like, oh shit. There's a lot
This
of
is
those.
a bop. This is the bop.
This shit is fire.
This shit is so fire, dude. It's bobbing. I don't know if you guys, since we were talking about school shootings, we might as well bring this up. I saw this. What do you guys think about this? This is an offensive bowling alley animations. So they're all laughing at, because they dropped their glasses. And then this guy, let me give you your glasses back. Oh my God.
Is this a love note?
Don't come to school tomorrow. Spared.
I just died.
You guys didn't see that coming out, did you?
No. Like, what the fuck is going on?
It's like, what does this have to do with bowling alleys?
See, I'm such a weird person because like stuff like that's hilarious. To
Yeah.
me.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
offense stuff is hilarious. So
That's
it's
like the shit that we send each other on TikTok.
yeah, and like that's why. Sorry, I feel like I keep circling back to like the whole Matty Healy thing.
No, you're good.
I
Go ahead.
wouldn't necessarily go to the depths that he went to, like with stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I don't want to say I get it because I don't. Someone's gonna take my words wrong. I
No, go
I
ahead.
have like I get offensive humor. Like, I have offensive humor from, like, my trauma, I guess, and stuff like that, too. Yeah. Like, I don't know this guy's story, but, like, I'm not going to make fun of, like, someone being from a different country or, like, whatever else, but that's how I can see myself, like, being on this podcast and how like, we're talking about, like, whatever is how I feel. And
someone can say, something you say
because, like, we make stupid jokes about it. It's not funny. I don't want children to be murdered, but, like, I'm going to laugh at that because it's funny. Fucking hilarious.
It's also, it's, like, the whole idea of comedy is, like, when something is so far out of the left field, you're like, oh, shit, I didn't see that coming. Like, the whole point is, like, not seeing the punchline coming.
Yeah.
How much of the Matty stuff, though, did you look up? Like, do you know why other things that why people are mad, or did you just look up the Ice Spice stuff?
I didn't even look up the Ice Spice stuff. I looked up I knew.
Did you hear about the porn thing? I guess is what I'm getting at.
What happened with the porn thing?
So that's what another thing really people are really upset about, and so figured if you don't know, I'm going to bring it up.
Go ahead, bring it up.
On I don't know if it was this podcast that he did or whatever, another one where he said that someone walked into him watching porn, and it's called. It's not. It was
literally on the Adam Freeland podcast. I saw they were talking about this episode. I never watched the episode with Matty Healy, but I watched them talking about him getting in trouble.
Like, the episode's been pulled, and I think
it was like a sexual what is it, like a black gangbang type.
Yeah,
of
it's
thing.
called Ghetto Gaggers. Is what it was called.
And he's the one that brought it up.
Who hasn't watched that?
Yeah, who hasn't?
I have not.
Exactly. It's a joke. We haven't watched it.
All right.
She's watched it.
I just want to make it clear that
she was actually on there.
I was on
She was
it.
actually on Ghetto Gaggers. Yeah.
But
Ghetto Gaggers.
I like how he explained it as a joke. Like, thank you for
you're
telling
welcome.
me what a joke is.
Yeah, it's just a joke.
It's just a joke.
He had to mansplain jokes.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank
Just
you.
a joke. I have
Thanks.
to mansplain. Actually, I'm pansplaining.
But that's why. God,
You're not another.
but
What did I tell Matt? I told Matt that I'm actually a woman that identifies as a man.
Okay.
That identifies as a woman.
Oh, okay.
So.
That makes sense.
And he said, I don't think I'm attracted to men. I said, I'm not a man. I identify as a woman.
Transception?
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds like transception to me.
He said, I'm not attracted to men. I'm like, I'm not a man. I'm a man. I'm a woman that identifies as a man that identifies as a woman. So I'm a woman.
FTMTF.
Yes.
FTMTF.
That sounds like one of those one bands.
Female to male.
You do like acid.
Female.
What is that called? What's that?
What is
music called?
I don't know.
Like, you're at festivals.
EDM?
Thank you. I was like,
okay,
you take
but
the
let's
acid.
Let's get back to the Ghetto Gaggers.
Oh,
what were you saying? What did he say specifically?
That's the biggest thing.
Watching it?
Yeah, he said that he was just
Is he not
watching
allowed?
it. And, well, the point is, and I'm very careful how I word things, because that people are mad because they said that type of porn, it's like brutalizing women of, like, black women and women of color.
Yeah.
They agreed to be in it.
See, but then the other thing, too, is like, well, do we really know if they agreed? You know, the sex trafficking is a thing.
Have you seen porn? Like,
it's so funny to me.
I don't. But he's doing too.
I don't. We're not attacking
No,
you.
not you. No, I know. I'm saying, but on me, so it's like one of the things, because I said the same thing. I'm like, well, these women are, I'm assuming, getting paid, and they probably have their own kind of. I don't want to speak for anyone, but I feel like if you are in, goes with everyone. Like, if you're a porn star and you specify in blowjobs, and you probably like giving blowjobs.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So if your porn is, you know, dominant and being whatever, you're probably into that
dom stuff.
Yeah, dom stuff, right?
Or sub stuff. Maybe you're into watching some.
Okay, I'm sure lots of people have made porn videos and been like, "Hey, that was a bad idea at the time." Like,
maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Maybe I shouldn't have done that. And, like,
I agreed to it legally. I signed the papers, but maybe I didn't like it. But at what point can you can't unconsent, right? To that, because I mean, you paid. It's like saying, oh well, it's like saying, hey, I want to make this song for you, and you make a song for somebody, and then you decide, ooh, I didn't do it as well as I want to. Can I go back and take that song away? And they're like, no, you can't, because I already paid you for the song, and I like it. And you're like, well, I'm not consenting to you having this. It's weird, and I know I'm taking it out of the realm of sexual, because sexual is always really sensitive. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we all have sensitivities. Other things, but like,
yeah. Well, I think the thing too is like, well, you know, sex trafficking is a thing, but yes, but like here in my world, because I've never looked it up, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if this porn looks like a production porn, or does it look like back alley? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, like, consent wise, like the actors.
So
but that's why people are
shaming him
mad
for liking gangbang porn.
Well, they say because they say that he is into the brutalization.
That doesn't mean you're into brutalizing.
But then you ended up finding out that that he brought that specific type of porn up because to him it was the funniest one to bring up in the moment.
That was the fun, exactly.
Because if he says, "Oh, I just like regular porn," there's nothing interesting about
We've
it.
had entire conversations about porn so many times.
I know.
But like, what's going to be, I guess too, like what's going to be the shocking if you were saying like you're into missionary mommies or ghetto gaggers, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I've literally listened to people like there's been comedians and people that have said I like watching what's worse, like watching somebody get gangbang or watching a stepmother have sex with her stepson. That's a little weird. And that's like one of the biggest like porn categories is step
I'm very
parents
defensive about porn.
so if he was saying that, fine.
I think we ended up agreeing in the same place, which is like don't kink somebody else's thing. It's that don't kink shame. Like kink shaming is an
but also don't
anti-thing.
involve me in it. Like
yeah. It's just weird.
But that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of Swifties are mad at that kind of.
I think you could stop that sentence that a lot of Swifties are mad.
They're and everything.
I feel like the people that are generally like Taylor Swift are very liberal people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like I feel like they have a lot of like group mentality, like
it's a hive mind.
It's very much a hive mind. Like one person's like, well, they're trying to talk for other people. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same argument.
It's the same argument. Like they're saying he likes this type of porn, so he's obviously into this type of sex.
Yeah.
But they're all very sheltered, like good girls.
Hold on.
Taylor
Wait a minute.
Swift. Like,
what if Taylor Swift likes to get? Like, what if her thing is she loves to gag, and he's like, oh my god, this is amazing, I'm into this.
We don't know what Taylor Swift's kinks are.
Maybe you guys are kink shaming Taylor Swift.
I feel like everybody has Taylor Swift in their mind as like this innocent, never controversial, like always does everything for her fans, people pleaser type of person. So they see her doing something with someone that's not like that, and they're like, it blows their mind.
Oh yeah,
because all of these people are like, she's our little baby, like
I just feel
she can't be a person because she's this mentality of everyone else.
She's a brand, not a person. That's what they treat her like. She's a brand. They think she has to be a perfect person.
Yeah.
And as we all know,
like
Hoobastank told us a long time ago, I'm not a perfect person.
He's got to sing in every episode at least once.
I think that's what, like, it's just weird to me, because at what point, though, like, how do I word this? Why does everything have to be, like, you're against that, so you're watching it? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, like, if you like this type of porn, like, I don't think that necessarily means he's against Black women, women of color, or anything like that. Like,
I watch lesbian porn because I hate lesbians.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've never seen someone that's like...
He's fetishizing Black women.
Yeah.
He's fetishizing the brutalization of Black women, and I'm not here for it as a white woman who's a Taylor Swift fan.
And that's what it is. That is what it feels like. And then, like, I've made comments...
You could be attracted to Black women. Like, maybe he's attracted to Black women.
Like, I've made even comments, too, where I'm like, you know, you can... I said separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
And then it was like, someone was like, this whole big thing, and sent me all these articles, and was telling me that I like performative.
Yeah.
It's performative activism if you are still a Taylor Swift fan.
Selective
because
outrage,
Matty did.
It's like the Hogwarts thing.
Like,
it's like the Harry Potter thing. You're not allowed to like the Hogwarts game because that makes you a TERF.
It's stupid. It makes no sense.
I don't like... And the thing is like, people will go ahead and say these terms, though, to you and label these, and now the way that the internet is, now that's what you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I like Taylor Swift, I don't think she has to apologize for her boyfriend.
Yeah.
I don't think necessarily... I don't know, from just a viewpoint, like, Ice Spice is collaborating with her.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going behind closed doors. Matty Healy is friends with Jack Antonoff, who is a Jewish man.
Yeah.
So if everything looks great, so why is it that, like, oh, well, no, you know, to me, this looks fine.
Yeah.
It looks like everything's great, but it's like, no, because sometimes people don't speak up, is what someone said to me. And then, like, no, you're doing performative activism because you can't still like Taylor Swift because she's with Matty.
Yeah.
If
you're
not mad. Yeah,
it went
sorry.
From Taylor
I know I don't
Swift.
make sense. I'm trying.
It went from Taylor Swift having to worry about other people calling her names, so now it's her fans.
Yeah. Well, my thing here is like you're trying to rationalize irrational thought. Yeah. These people are fucking irrational. At the end of the day, that's what we're coming. We're finding out is these people with the performative outrage, like their whole concept of their life is you have to 100% always be unproblematic, and that's impossible. Mm-hmm. Every single person is problematic to somebody else. It doesn't matter who it is. Okay, let's say you're 100% pro-trans, and I know we keep coming back to this, and I don't mean to, but I'm saying like if you're 100% pro-trans, you're probably outraged, or people who are anti-trans are probably outraged by you. They probably think you're problematic. So I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter what your opinions are on anything or your feelings are on anything. Somebody's not going to like them, and I think it's weird that you guys, and I'm speaking specifically to you Swifties, and you can tell me in the comments how big of a piece of shit I am by this, and I'd love for you to watch our podcast. But my thing is, I'm calling out Swifties right now, and I'm saying maybe you guys should get your own fucking life and quit trying to make Taylor answer for the problematic things that you think that her boyfriend did before they were together, or even if they were together. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. It's not Taylor's job to choose men based upon what her fans like. Her fans can go fuck themselves. She likes the dick she likes the pussy she likes whatever she likes. And at the end of the day, it's like Matty Healy is an artist. He understands her from that perspective. He's also very like that band in general. A lot of female fans. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that Venn diagram has a lot of overlap with Swifties. And at the end of the day, I'm like, if you don't like the dude, you don't have to listen to her music anymore. And if that really puts you off on it, then maybe it's just not for you. You're a fucking idiot and you don't deserve to listen to the music in the first place.
Thank you. Because I've kind of said that in like a comment to someone. I was like, if you're this pressed about it, stop being her fan.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Don't buy anything. Because then the next thing it was like, well, I'm thinking about selling my tickets, but don't ask me about it and don't message me about it. Yeah. And then, you're still watching the video she puts. Yeah.
They just want to cause the problem.
So it's like, if you're this pissed, you hate her this much, stop being a fan. Leave the groups, sell your merch, stop listening.
It's like, hey, I hate the direction that this river is flowing in. So can we change the river? How about you just move?
Yeah,
just move away from it. Go to find a different river that you like.
And then it gets turned to, well, you can still like someone and criticize. And I'm like, you can absolutely criticize her. But then when you're talking about like, oh, well, she doesn't care about, marginalized groups, or she doesn't care about this, she doesn't doing this, I'm disappointed in her. I was like, this is mentally affecting you. Yeah. You should stop being a fan.
You are, what's the word? You are, I know women hate to be called this, but that you are hysterical. At that point, you're a hysterical person if you are affected by what you think that Taylor feels because of who Taylor dates and how he believes. How many levels of like cat lady do you need to be? And I don't mean to be. I'm sorry. I know you guys are cat. We're all cat parents here.
We're all cats.
But like, what level of cat insanity do you have to be? To me, I think that's at the end of the day with the Taylor Swift fans, and trust me, as a Kanye fan, I have to deal with problematic shit all the time that he does. Learn how to separate the art from the artist, or move on and try to find that unproblematic unicorn that you're never going to find of an artist, because there's just no such thing. Eventually, everybody disappoints you. Not just your parents, not just your kids, and not just yourself. You're disappointed in yourself. You're disappointed. Just look inward. Okay?
I'm always disappointed in myself.
I'm disappointed.
Right?
All three of us, we're disappointed in you, Taylor Swifties. Taylor Swift, if you do not comment on this, I am no longer a huge fan.
If you get Taylor Swift to comment on this, wow.
She's like, I can't. Taylor Swift hates people who have.
Taylor Swift doesn't Google herself or look up anything.
What is it when you can't sleep at night, when you have like insomnia? She hates people with insomnia because she blatantly stays up too late. Got nothing on her plate. That's what people say. Whatever it is. What's the song? I stay up too late.
Oh, got nothing in my brain.
See, that's problematic to people who have insomnia, because they don't have a choice to stay up too late. She's staying up too late by choice.
She hates people that are insomniacs. Yeah. Fuck that bitch.
And people with mental issues, as mental disability as well.
She's got nothing in her brain.
Because she's got nothing in her brain.
Yeah. But she's saying that's what people say.
But that's what people say. That's what people say. It's funny that they can listen to that song and bop to it for years, realize what she's saying is like, stay out of my business. That's the whole song. Like, you think you know me. You think like did you guys watch do you guys see, you guys in Bo Burnham at all?
I don't. I mean, I know some stuff, but I don't like
Well, him and Phoebe Bridgers.
Oh, I know.
Did you
Yeah,
see that shit?
they're like
they
dating.
accidentally posted that. Was it Matt Healy that posted that?
No, it
was.
Wasn't Matt Healy.
I think he
I
accidentally posted it.
I thought somebody had posted it.
No, it was a famous person, but it wasn't. I don't think it was Matt Healy that posted it.
It was an accident. I remember.
Somebody posted a picture of them kissing or something.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I'm gonna look it up real quick, just because this will be interesting to look up. Bo Burnham and
it's Phoebe Bridgers.
Phoebe.
Who? Because it was some actor that accidentally.
Yeah, it was somebody who was hanging out with them.
Was it Ryan Reynolds?
Ooh.
Maybe.
Who is the one? Keith Urban? Yeah,
Keith Urban. That's who it was. Yeah, I was like.
They were hanging out and they were in the background making out and being like close, and people were like, "Oh my god!" They just outed them as a couple, and he accidentally outed them as a couple.
Yeah, he shared the picture, but. Taylor also has a song, like her first single off Midnight's literally says, "Hi, it's me, I'm the problem." Yeah. Like and all throughout her things too, like I don't think she's the problem for dating, but she always, all the things like, don't, I'm not your guiding light, I'm not this, like you know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of things. So
how many public guys do her fans hate that she's dated? Because it feels like every time she dates somebody, they find somebody that
they just want her to be gay.
Yeah,
is the problem.
Yeah.
They want her to date a woman.
I like Joe. She was with Joe for a really long time.
Who, Jonas?
Joe Alwyn.
Wasn't she with one of the Jonas Brothers too?
She was.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
The thing is, she's been famous for too damn long. It's just like Drew Barrymore. You've been like, we know everybody who Drew Barrymore dated and who she's married, and it's like Tom Green. That was the weirdest shit ever.
I loved that.
Yeah, of course you did.
We
did.
But
if you were a Drew Barrymore stan, you'd have been like, actually, Tom Green's problematic because of the things that he did on the show. Like, it's like people are so ridiculous.
Drink your coffee.
It's all going. There's a water right there.
There's a water right there if you want it.
Thank you.
I don't know if you're
gonna have to edit my coughing out.
No, we're keeping all the coughing in.
He hears me coughing constantly. So.
Yeah, normally I can dump you out if I know you're gonna cough, but I don't know you're gonna cough. So
I don't know I'm going to. It's
I don't even know. All right, so we've talked about a lot here. We've got a lot going on. I definitely think that
2 hours.
We did. I know we've done a while. I can tell. I know with the Taylor Swift stuff, it's super important that we all go and we tag Taylor Swift in the comments. We need her answers on this. We need to know her opinion. I did want to throw this out. I did say that I would throw this out for Caitlin. If you're interested in being one of the vendors for Rotten Fest, you can sign up. It's going to be in Foster Park on July 22nd, 2 to 9 p.m. And so check that out if you want to do it. It's only $20 vendor fee. That's pretty cool. And then obviously we got a new episode at Barlow's Barbershop. Summer playlist episode with Adam Street, Scrap Lotto, Hypocrisy Jones, and Matt Barlow. It's episode 25 of the Weekly Plug. It is out. It'll be out when you hear this podcast. It'll already be out, so go check it out. It's on YouTube or on Facebook at the Weekly Plug or on the Kokomo Press page. This has been a fun time. I've had a good time goofing. We've talked about a lot of really controversial stuff, so this has been really fun. I like these episodes.
We should have got her on sooner.
I know. We actually had plans to have Annie on after the Dedicini Alfredo. Bring this up over here, the Dedicini Alfredo premiere. But then afterwards, Courtney and I looked at each other and like, why did we schedule anything this day? We are exhausted. It's been a long night. We did the whole movie, and then my band played and everything, and we're like, hey, Annie, do you mind if you move this?
I guess I mind.
And then we had a while. We had a bunch of people booked, so I was like, I got to find an episode to get you in before the end of the season, because the end of the season is coming. We only have 4 more episodes of this episode of the season 3 of the Kokomo Press Podcast. So thank you guys for tuning in. This has been a fun
last episode of the season.
No, it's not.
No?
It's not true. It's not true.
Probably mine. If this bombs, it's going to be mine.
The finale.
Oh, yeah, the finale.
Weirdo. We have the finale. Don't give away anything. People aren't allowed to know anything.
I just want to say bye.
No, you're not. You're still going to be here. You want to say Pan?
Oh, my God. Jeez. I want to say... I don't know.
L. I'm just kidding.
L.
I'm the L.
Oh.
I'm Jordan Granger.
Courtney Richardson.
Courtney Richardson as well. No, I'm Annie.
We got to let people know who you are.
I'm sorry. I'm Annie.
Check her out. We've had a great time hanging out. Thank you guys for listening to Kokomo Press Podcast. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching this episode of the Kokomo Press Podcast. We really appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can check us out on the Kokomo Press at Facebook, at YouTube, at Instagram, or you can follow us all at our individual accounts if you want on Twitter or Facebook or wherever. You can get our merch, or if you really, really, really want to help us out, it's only $5. You can actually subscribe to our Patreon. check that out because we have a lot of content we want to give you guys, and we want to put more and more out, and it's starting to get expensive. So hit us up. Thank you for watching this episode of the Kokomo Press Podcast. Thank you so much. We love you. 2 kisses.